All right, all right, all right. You know what time it is? Monday night. Not Monday night football, but it's we're live in the counselor's corner. Herb Lewis and I are back for another live discussion in the counselor's corner on the StreamYard platform. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. And please subscribe to my YouTube page as well as liking and sharing these videos. So last week, our topic of discussion was why do parents physically fight teenage children? And, we went on about that. Herb dropped a scenario and it took off after that. And that's all it takes is one thought, one vision, and you got a whole 2 hour episode. Um, so tonight, our main topic will be emotional affairs. Is it really cheating? Is it? I guess we'll talk about it and find out in a few. Our other remaining essential talking points are perception versus reality. And how does it affect us? I learned from counseling 101 that there's no such thing as reality. There's only perception. So everybody reality is their reality, uh, but it's probably based on more perception. And also number two, women, are they happier not married? That was very interesting, the feedback that we received on that. And you'll be surprised. Many women of today are saying they are happy single. They prefer to be single. It's less stress. And also, Herb, I'm sure, I think he got some research was saying that women live longer when they're single. Oh, fellas, y'all better tighten up. Better tighten up. All right. Make sure you stay put for the Can You Solve Herb's Riddle contest for the $20 Cash App stimulus package. I know some of y'all been getting y'all little stimmies and y'all happy, whatever, and y'all like, man, we got the 600 or the 1200. Screw Dave and Herb's $20. But this is consistent right here. So we have a new champion in 2021, Swanda Netta Honey. The question I want to know is how long will she maintain her title? We will soon find out. Make sure you are present for a chance to win. So we got a couple people waiting in the studio. Um, Before that was good, Herb. How you doing this evening?
Man, just that's another Manic Monday, I suppose. I got no plans. I'm off tonight, so hopefully the show rocks. We get these topics on the griddle. We cook them till the edges a little brown and put them on a plate and let people eat.
All right, so I want to give out a shout out. Hey Tina, thanks for joining. Tina, one of the ex champions, for joining tonight. Marcia, how you doing this evening? Ebony, good evening. How you doing this evening? Thanks for joining us in the Counselor's Corner, streaming live on the StreamYard platform. Oh, we got some people that's waiting to get in. So I'm not gonna prolong them. They knocking at the door like, yo, what are you doing? We ready to get in. We got something to say. So I'm gonna let them in. We got Anita. Good
Just for
evening, Anita.
Can you hear me?
Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Can you guys hear me?
yes, we
Yes, we
can.
hear you.
Okay. I'm using my computer this time, my laptop.
Okay.
Hey, whatever works. Hey, just a point of mention that I said on Friday's show for those of you who didn't see it. There was a mix-up on my behalf with the solutions and the winner of the riddle, and Latoya was kind enough to actually turn the prize so the correct person could be awarded. And as I mentioned on Friday's show, she will be entered into a raffle for a prize with the drawing that I have for my mentoring program. So I just wanted to make that acknowledgement and thank her for her participation in that.
All right. And in fact, she's here. I'm gonna add her into the stream. Brolic T, what's good? You got the little one with you, streaming live this evening.
Because he's sleepy and he won't go by himself. He insists that I need to be a part of this travesty. So now he's sitting here in my lap.
Tell him what do you need to realize that once he's in this video, he will be in here for life. So when he gets to grade school or middle school, they say, "Hey man, we seen you on a video back in the days. You was in there with a bunch of old heads."
He probably won't even mind. He think he an old head.
All right. Now we got we're gonna have Rebecca in. Hey Rebecca, how you doing?
Hi.
Hey,
Oh, they
Hey.
early and lively tonight, boy. Uh-oh. We got me some popcorn.
All right. So we know that the subject, the main subject was emotional fears. Is it really cheating? Mm. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm gonna let whoever wants to attack it first. Herb, if you want to attack it, one of your ladies, if
Oh
you
yeah,
want
let's
to give
hear
your
her
perspective.
because I'm
Well,
sure.
actually, you know what? I'm gonna set this up because I think this is more geared for the women because if you look at the way
It's always on women. It's always on women.
Right?
Blame us for every damn
no
thing.
no
It's
it
a
is
two-part
definitely
thing. It's
not
a
always just
partnership.
women.
this this is not a blame. I think this is more in a woman's wheelhouse because men and women look at emotional things differently. So that's what I mean by that.
Uh-huh.
Let me take myself. I won't speak for the masses of men because I don't think this is one where an individual man can.
Come on.
I would just say this. If I speak to a female, even though I'm in a committed relationship, for me it's just dialogue and conversation. Generally
You choose to
speaking,
speak?
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said when you choose to speak.
Correct. When I
Wow.
it's when I choose to speak. When I do, I'm not looking
Right?
for
I just got that.
connection. Now,
Can't help myself.
hey, I roll with the punches. I'm a heavyweight fighter.
You better be.
I was born to be a heavyweight fighter.
Mhm.
So conversely, I know that when women say they stray, it's emotional first, physical second. Now, y'all can correct me on that when y'all get the opportunity to speak. I'm just simply saying, men, or certainly myself, if I speak to a female, it's not because I'm looking to stray. It's just because I'm having conversation. Like conversations I have at work, I work with 98% of females.
Damn.
So the conversation I engage in with them is this conversation I would engage in with anyone. I don't even go to that realm. So for me, it's the conversation, and I leave that there. Now, if a female brings something to me and it's along that vein, I'll have to gauge what her situation is, what her mental state is, because I know for a lot of women, when they get to a point where they're doing that and they're searching for something, usually there's problems at home. And ladies, y'all can correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
how
wrong.
you know that?
I said,
Considering you don't fool with
He's
women. Who,
making an assumption
yeah,
as
how you know
usual.
that? You don't know that. Stop. You don't know that.
I speak to a
You
lot of
just
women.
said that you only talk to women just to have pure conversation and dialogue. So how would you know that when women get to the point where they're ready to stray away from their relationship, that it's a problem at home? How come she just can't be a hoe? I mean, or how come he can't be a hoe? You don't know that. Be quiet.
It's,
Check your
it's,
friend. I keep telling you to check your friend, and you just refuse to do that.
it's called an inbox.
Whatever.
You asked them to answer the question.
Whatever. You claim you don't deal with them type of females, so how would you know? Even on a personal
At,
level, how
at,
would you know?
at work.
And you don't speak to the women at work, remember?
Said at work.
You don't speak to them.
Exactly.
You just
They can't
ignore
even get a
them.
good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning, good evening, how you doing?
Not even that. He don't
Oh,
even say
man.
that.
But
Remember?
you know, all
You
they
okay
do is
today?
trying to figure
They
this
He
out.
just looks straight ahead. He just
They
looks straight ahead. He
they
don't
throwing
bother to
they
speak.
throwing haymakers at you, Herb, already.
It's not
And
egg,
not,
it's what
I
he
didn't put anything
said.
in your drink.
He said he don't say good morning, he don't speak, but then he know
Yeah,
everybody.
but now of a sudden
But
you
now
know
all of a
what
sudden
women
he's
are
speaking
doing
to girls.
because something got to be wrong at home.
but you can't throw a successful haymaker and miss the target.
Oh,
They want to talk to me as opposed to
we
what I
hitting
said.
targets. You might be bobbing and weaving, but yeah, we hitting the target.
Don't backpedal now.
Yeah, hush up over there.
Pretty much.
They said they got
So,
you on your
okay, so what
bicycle.
your experiences then?
I don't have that type of experience, so if I don't want to be there, I'm not going to be there. Point blank. I don't have to cheat or have an emotional relationship with somebody else to get out of the one that I'm in. I'm bouncing. So
So it sounds like you that quote from one of my what's it, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. I think Martin Lawrence, I forgot his name on there, but he said I wouldn't be here if I couldn't be here.
I'm just saying, as I would hope that with age and maturity, we all get some common sense. I have no reason to be in a relationship that I don't want to be in, and I don't have a reason to cheat. That's one thing I ain't tolerating in a relationship. If you don't want to be there and I want you to be there, I might cry about it, but you can tear ass. And because I know I am. I'm not trying to be nowhere where I don't want to be. There's too many men out there. And if that's what I'm trying to do. So, but I think it also depends on the type of emotional relationship you're having with said person. Um, it
But
could be, especially if it's opposite sex, it could be a longtime friend, female friend, male friend that you just have that bond with and you go to them for everything. It's always been that way type thing. You could be in a relationship where someone doesn't handle certain stressors well, where you don't get that emotional support you need for a given situation. So I think it depends on the situation, but I think that goes both ways. That there are men out there that are concerned about their mate going elsewhere for emotional support. So I don't think it's just women who some shit got to be going wrong before we get out there and look for something else. Men do that shit all the time, and it ain't even got to be emotional support. They just be out there hoeing. So
Oh no.
you can't just throw that shit on us talking about by the time we get somewhere, this is when, this stuff happens because, yeah, nah, I'm not
well,
claiming that shit. Not for me and the women I know. We
well
ain't claiming that.
let me put some things out here. Let me put some warning signs of emotional affairs, so that might bring some of this stuff to light for men and women. Decreasing time with your spouse. So all of a sudden, that quality time you used to have is no longer there. Um, what else? Giving your friends personal gifts. So all of a sudden now you got to make sure you get your friend this birthday gift, Christmas gift. Meanwhile, your man or woman like shit. Why the hell you always feel the need to get that person something? Anticipating alone time or communication with your friend. Like you just can't wait. Like, oh man, when I get a chance, I can't wait to call him or call her. I can't wait to see them at work or whatever the case is. And let me
Are you
give you,
talking about somebody of the opposite sex or just a friend in general?
well, we never know in this day and age what the hell
True
going
that.
on,
Well,
whatever.
okay.
So, but I'm gonna go say I'm gonna lean on the side of opposite sex.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
believe
mean,
that.
but that's like him. I could call him at any given time. He ain't going nowhere. And I would never expel him from my life because somebody I was dating, didn't like it. If we had that type of relationship and he always got a card from me every Christmas prior to this relationship or a gift or, whatever the case may be, that would never stop. Not
So
that my man wouldn't know about it, but I mean, how insecure are you that
and listen, and that's one of the things because sometimes it's not verbalized. This friend is kept a secret, so you're not telling all the details. So let's role play. Let's say, for example, uh, your man, you're sending her cards and all that stuff, and your man says, "I don't like that cat. I don't like that cat. Whatever. I got a funny feeling about him. Like, yo, stop sending them cards. I don't care for him calling you or whatever. What you gonna do?"
I would probably ask why, and explore why, because chances are he would have never met him because we're 1,500 miles apart. Um, and really, at this point, I am just speaking for me. Can't nobody tell me what to do. And I mean that because I can't tell nobody what to do. I'm grown, he's grown, whatever. Um, Not that I wouldn't feel compelled to explain myself to him, because I would, because that's what grown people do. And if you can't have an understanding for my friendship with another man, especially with him being 1,500 miles away, that's something that you need to work on. Most certainly I wouldn't put my relationship, especially if it was a long-term intimate relationship that I thought was moving somewhere, I wouldn't put anything at risk, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, we all make our own choices, and I'm not giving up any friends for anybody. I tell you that right now. If I consider you my friend, because I don't think I have a lot that I actually call a friend, I'm not giving them up for anybody. So you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but if you wanted to read that card that I was sending, I would let you read it, but you wouldn't stop me from sending it. Usually people catch a vibe for a reason. When you're doing some underhanded, sneaky shit, people tend to get a sense of that. And if I were doing something like that, he would have a right to question me. How I answer it is up to me. But again, I don't believe in cheating. I ain't never cheated on nobody, will never will, because I'm not married. I'm not beholden to anybody. Can't nobody make me stay. So it would be easy for me to move around. Maybe not a married couple, but that's
Okay.
just me.
All right. Anita.
Well, I think I feel like personally, if you're doing something behind my back, like flirting with another girl that you have history with, that's inappropriate and disrespectful towards me. So if you have to hide something from me, you should not be doing it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
If I'm not comfortable disclosing whatever I'm doing and saying to one of my male friends, I shouldn't be doing it. And that's all part of intellectual intimacy, and intimacy in a relationship is you are a partner, a team, a partnership. So you form that bond with each other, which should be something sacred and special than what you talk about with your platonic friends. Because one of my ex-boyfriends, he was having some inappropriate conversations with one of his friends that he had history with, and I was like, that's rude, that's inappropriate, because I'm giving my emotional energy and intimacy to you, meanwhile you are not being 100% to me. So you're distracted, giving somebody else the energy that should be between us. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. I hear you. All right. Brolic T. Your thought process on that?
In the past, I have been guilty of doing said thing, having an emotional affair. Did I initiate it? No. How did I get into it? Because the person that I thought was in love with me, like I was in love with him, was out there in the streets doing his damn thing. So while he was out there loving on everybody else and leaving me home alone, I found something to do with my time. And that resulted in me meeting somebody else. And when he found out about it, he had the nerve to be pissed off. But you out there fucking every woman that you can in the street. How dare you?
Men
And I'm
can't
not
handle
even
that.
sleeping with this person.
But
We're
he
just
wasn't
having casual conversations.
mad before when you didn't know that he was
No,
doing that, right?
no,
Exactly.
he was living it up. He had no problem with the fact that I had no clue what was going on. He didn't feel bad about nothing that he was doing.
And he
But
wasn't
when he
mad
thought that
then.
I was out there messing with somebody in the street, it was a whole different story. And I'm like, I just talk to this person occasionally on the phone. I've never met this person. We never even took it to that level. You out here with every chick you can get your hands on. But you got the nerve to be upset with me? Really? Oh man, you've got some balls.
Sound like man can't handle it, huh?
Well, no,
No,
to
they
what
Can men
cannot.
handle that?
to what
Can
she
men
is saying.
handle
I
that?
know some men personally who, when they are dealing with a woman, they want her to cut off all contact to non-male relatives. They don't care what the situation is.
Relatives.
That's that's their that's the parameters that they are having a relationship under. And to them, I say, if you can get it, go for it. I'm not that type of person because I realize I have friends on both sides of the gender divide. I have good female friends. I have good male friends. And I'm like Rebecca. I'm not going to cut off my friends for a relationship unless they can show me some way that that individual has an ulterior motive. Now I'm very good at vetting my friends, so that's not something I worry about. And even if it's coming that way, I can shut that down. So there is some validity to what she's saying. But the men that do that, like Rebecca said earlier, they're not only are they insincere,
Insecure.
they're yeah insecure, and yeah, they're insecure. See, I'm not gonna do that because if I'm a proponent of this type of thinking, if you're gonna do something, there is nothing that's going to stop you. So I'm not going to waste time, energy,
That is
or
right.
anything else worrying about what you do. People say, well, you don't care. No, it's not that I don't care. My personal sanity is more important than anybody that's going to be out on the street straight. So if what I am and what I'm doing isn't good enough, hey, like Rebecca said, that's on out of here. Hey, we're not married.
Just saying.
And even in the event that we are married, hey, if you want to file for divorce, I can't stop you. I'm not going to try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I say that, but how long does that really happen for you to tell somebody to tear ass out of there? Is that a 6 month process?
No,
Is that a year? Is it a
no.
financial thing that say, you know what, I can't really afford for them to tear ass out of here, so we gonna have to find a way. It's other provisions that sometimes impacts people tearing their ass out of
See,
somewhere.
Well,
now
no,
here we go. Let me go on and
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
Saran. Welcome
yeah,
yeah,
back. Welcome
yeah.
back.
So here's the
Congratulations on
thing.
your
Hello,
grandbaby.
everybody. Thank
Hi,
you.
my
She's
sister.
gorgeous. Hello, my darling. But let me say this. So you threw a couple of things in there on the question of how long does it take before you ready to get going. So in a regular situation, without somebody that's just dependent on a mofo, you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of a cliche thing. If it's a woman or a man that's still like getting a roof by what another mofo is doing, like you just missed the whole damn boat. Like you always have to make sure that you're able to take care of self. So that when a mofo, male or female, starts tripping, you can get gone. And your financial situation doesn't have to be a factor in how long you have to put up with somebody else's BS. That's the gift of independence. It's not necessarily
Yes.
that you don't need the other sex. Has nothing to do with that. It has to
Yes.
do with a broken heart is bad enough to get over. But a broken heart and my bank account broke, or I can't afford to leave, or you can't afford to leave because you a deadbeat and you can't find nowhere else to go and you done exhausted all your options and couches and shit. And so now we just up in here,
That's real
Couches.
talk, though.
because don't nobody else want to live with you. They all gave you to me. They probably hyped you up and shit when they gave you to me because they all knew that he can't come back on my couch. Okay. So no, that's why no,
Couch
nah,
potato.
I'm stuck. No, sir.
Oh
No,
man.
ma'am. And you know that it's the same in the reverse. It's some bum ass chicks out here that do the same thing. They going from place to place, situation to situation. A dude that really care about him and shit. and all she is just making sure that she's secure for the next, for when he see through her bullshit, trying to secure her next couch. That's what they do on tagged and shit. Like they all trying to secure their next couch. The next person they gonna be cooking breakfast for with their food stamps and shit. No, no, I done been no,
That just
no.
sounds so funny. The next
If you
couch,
make
like.
it fun because it's real. If you just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you are able to take care of yourself, and I'm talking to men and women, then when somebody, like I said, when somebody start tripping, because people gonna trip. Like people act like you're gonna get into a relationship and that shit is gonna be roses and unicorns and shit all the time. And I speak to unicorns and I know that shit ain't true. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be sometimes that you gonna get on their nerves, they gonna get on your nerves. Like it's not gonna, and so that people so afraid to feel feelings. Okay, you piss me off, then or I piss you off. Like we need to work it out. Now we get to a point where we can't work it out. Uh, I can handle mine. Can you? Because the door opens in the same way that it lets you in, that it would let your ass out. And vice versa if it's your shit that I'm in. I know that the door, I know I could, I know I could kick rocks too, as far as you concerned. As long as we all understand that at any time we can
and,
call this, we could call time on this, time of death.
and,
We can call it anytime.
and that's the question. And I already know Herb answer. He has no problem putting
Cheers.
putting somebody out. How many men just throw women out? Like, excuse my like, get the fuck out, or whatever the
All the
Oh,
case
you'd be
is.
time.
surprised.
Whatever.
You'd be
All the
surprised.
time.
You'd
Usually
be
they be trying to beat their ass while they doing it, but all the damn time, or
you'd
they'll
be
lock their damn ass in the house.
surprised.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna make
nah.
That's
Uh-uh.
that call that you get from that chick cousin that don't nobody want her on their couch no more because she brings drama. She brings dudes that kicks her ass up out the house, and then she wants to call them on the phone, on your phone and
Thank
shit from
you.
your
What
couch.
she said.
No, it happens more often than you think. It happens more often than you think.
I'm with her all the way. Financial independence brings men and women a whole lot of freedom in choosing what they want to do. You'd be surprised that when you can take care of yourself fully and wholly, how many times
Yeah,
you'll be
motherfucker
willing
gotta
to
come
say
different.
no instead of let's work it out or let's talk about it. You can just say straight no, be gone. So I totally agree with her. When you have a man or a woman that is settled in life and they have the money to back it up, they have the job to back it up, they have the home to back it up with nobody's help, getting out of a relationship is just like she said, it's just as easy to open up that front door and take that lamp that you brought with you.
Yeah,
Go
wow.
go 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 ahead
Couches,
Bitch,
on
you
and
could
get the
couches,
lamp
listen.
and go.
You
couches
could
and
crawl out
lamps.
the window, mofo.
Everything
You
up
could
in this
crawl out the
house
window.
I
You could crawl
paid
out the
for.
back.
So
You could
if you
climb up the
come
chimney.
here,
Any way
yeah,
you got to
your
get out.
shoes, yeah, you can take that and go. And likewise for me, if I were living in a man's house, I would make
Honey.
sure that I had enough money to walk my ass out the front door, and if nothing else, get a hotel room and be comfortable until I found another place to live. There's no way in hell that I'll ever be dependent on anybody, including a man, ever again.
But
That shit'll never happen
that comes
again.
with time and
Yes,
age too.
ma'am.
That comes with time and age and experience. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
ma'am.
I spent a lot of time in Cleveland, and so me and Dave kind of kept in touch. He checked on me and shit. Appreciate it, bruh. And I was doing a lot of shadow work because that's the place of a lot of bad memories. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm dealing with my daughter, who, like you said, just had my third grandbaby, and I'm looking at how independent she is, and I realized that was all my influence. And she told me that. She was like, you made us really independent. Now the gotcha about that shit is I crave to be a mommy. I love my kids to death. You know what I'm saying? And so, they don't, I raised them to not need me, but the downside is they don't need me. They're independent. They can handle their own. Both of them are in their lives and just living it the way that they want to live it because they can afford to do so. ain't nobody trapped in their life. And that's all I wanted. That's what one of my goals as a mom. I never want them to feel trapped in a relationship, either one of them, my son or my daughter. Be able to get up out of there.
And I
All the
think,
movies, that's the thing that the chick is waiting on, is to get some moolah. No, you have you something ready. Have it ready.
and I
You
think that's a key point that you made. Whatever, as a parent, ultimately, you want to make sure that their life is better than yours. That's that's all that you could hope for. Like, put them in a position to maybe progress better than you have. But I know also research says this generation may be the one of the first generations that do worse than their parents. So that's a whole nother conversation or dilemma.
Nah, I
I
don't
mean, look
think
at the
so. Cause it's a whole lot
circumstances
of
now.
deadbeat.
You
It's a
know,
whole lot of
things are
deadbeat dudes
changing.
and chicks. We just talked about people couch
Yeah.
surfing.
And I think
Well,
They've
to,
been
y'all
they've
talk a lot
been around
about
couch surfers.
on this panel, y'all talk a lot about single moms and black women in particular. And um I think with this panel, you have the age group of this panel. I think a lot of the response and the feedback that y'all get is grown women with real good past experiences. And maybe that's why I get amped a lot when I hear you say stuff, because I'm grown. A lot of these, most of these women are grown. I can't guess at everybody's age, but I feel like we're all at a place of in our life where all that shit that y'all talk about, or some of the topics you talk about, I don't want to throw it on younger people because I don't want to offend somebody, because you still got some
Oh
stupid
no, that's for
grown-ups
young
out
people.
there. But I think
Hella
we're
Oh
all
stupid
at a
older
no.
place in
people.
our life where when we hear some of those comments or the
I've
topics,
known
we're just
both.
like, that ain't me. I don't know nobody like that, or we don't do that. So I know not everybody. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
hold on.
Yeah.
I'm still
Hold on.
evolving.
Let me jump in here.
that's okay, baby.
Hold on.
Do that. We did.
Let me let me jump in here. Two things. It's riddle time, so I'm going to read the riddle as I post it in the chat. I can make you wealthy if you keep a supply. Once again, I can make you wealthy if you keep a supply.
Mm,
That is the riddle clue. Now,
Sounds
This
just in
sound
case,
like
anybody's entitled to answer it.
so many,
love.
so many possible answers.
yeah,
Now,
this sound like this
so
could go on for
many.
2 or 3 days, whatever. I like these type of riddles. You bet.
But to comment on
Look, just say
what
shit. Just
Rebecca is saying, just so people understand, the rate of single motherhood across the ethnic divide is rising. I know we tend to make black women the face of single motherhood, and that's only because of the disproportionate number of kids in the black community that's had out of wedlock. But across the board, it's rising. So don't, as even though we frame it like that, we don't want people to take it like that. So when we're talking about these things, and we talk about the numbers are the raw data. So we're not looking to throw stones at any particular demographic. So when
What are
I
we
know
talking
I'm
about?
looking at the aggregate, and
well, I mean,
Hispanics,
y'all make a lot of dents for some folks that ain't throwing no stones. I'm just saying.
but what we want to do is we want to get people to
Y'all
understand.
leave a lot of dents.
Hold up.
Hmm.
Now, listen,
What are you talking about? What are we talking about?
Cause y'all can throw them. You know it.
listen.
Me and Herb in the beginning. Me and Herb have a very, very beautiful and refined relationship now because we understand one another. You know what I'm saying? But we all remember the old days, the beginning days, where everything with me and her was just opposition. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once we actually took a moment to really listen to what one another was saying, we realized that we agree on a lot of points. Like his delivery is just so like fuck you in the ass raw sometime though, like it's like damn. It's like you ain't have to do all that. Like, So, it puts a person, your delivery tends to put a person, you know, on the defensive. It's just like, they say, don't shoot the messenger, but your mailman can bring you a $20,000 check, but you don't want them to hit you in the face with that bitch though. Like, you ain't gotta deliver it so that would, but we understand one another now. So it flows very nicely. So sometimes it just takes, some understanding. I'm just saying, for y'all do for the claim that you're not throwing stones. I'm just saying y'all leave a lot of
Hey,
dents,
yeah, and
and
that's
we
the
gotta
whole
come
thing.
at you,
The whole
then we
thing.
gotta come
Courageous
at you,
conversations. Courageous conversations. That's how it is. It's the only way to be, to make people feel uncomfortable, to get comfortable. That's my whole MO.
Because believe me, I'll say the same thing for men. There's a lot of men out here who are running around creating these single mothers, and we always talk about the 80-20 rule. Because a lot of people think there's a lot of men that are engaged in this activity, where there's actually a very narrow band of men who are actually creating this atmosphere. And this is what we always try and tell women. This is why we talk about this, because we want women. Y'all have the control for for better or worse, good, bad, or indifferent. Men don't have as much influence on the children until they get to be older. By then, their foundational behaviors are generally set. That's not to say that they can't change, but it's more difficult to get them to change once they have a mindset. And I will say it like this: I was at Abbott one day, and I think I was either shooting or rollerblading, and ran into a group of young kids, and these kids were 7, 8, and they were singing Moy Wells, "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" Now, I know they didn't grow up in the doo-wop era, because I didn't grow up in the doo-wop era. I came along a little after the doo-wop era. So, I was saying that, what y'all, singing this song, how do y'all know this? And, they were getting into a couple other things. The discussion led to one of the younger men's fathers being a pastor. And he was talking about what he won't do when he gets to be young, when he gets to be older. I said, well, you don't know that. Yes, I do. My father steeped me in this and this and this. And when he got to be a teenager, his whole belief system had did a 180. So the things he was talking about then that he wouldn't do, he all of a sudden now is doing. I said, do you remember that conversation we had when we were at Abbott? He looks at me kind of perplexed. He's like, yeah. I said, remember all the things you said you wouldn't do then? What are you doing now? And he was speechless. So that's why we want women to understand the control that you have when it comes to children. I'm just looking at the answers, so hopefully I don't. Okay, we have a winner, Dave.
God damn it, man.
Is it toilet paper?
No.
I thought this was going to go like 3 days.
What is it?
It is stocks.
I said that. I said stocks and bonds.
I was so, if I don't.
It?
Well, you got to go back to the replay, like the NFL and the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I will do that.
Go back up there. Go back up.
Yeah, I see Amy said stocks.
Yeah. Because because most of the people on the panel don't offer an answer, so I'm always looking in the chat. So if I don't hear you say it and you think it's the right answer, call my name. I don't have a problem with that.
It is absolutely okay. Please give it to whoever took the time to type it. But I did say it.
Did you type it in?
I did not. I spoke it.
Oh.
And that's what I want people to understand. When we're having a conversation, I'm not necessarily looking for an answer, because like I said, most of the people on the panel don't offer an answer. That's why I'm always looking in the chat. So my apologies.
You good. I couldn't help myself. As soon as you said it, that was the first thing that came to mind.
I think it's
Amy, you
look at Amy. She wants shit. Amy
well, if we're going to announce Amy, 8-time champion winner, congratulations. She's been she's been out of the loop for the last few weeks, whatever, but she's back.
Yay, Amy.
But all right, we got to pick up the pace, because it seemed like like in a damn funeral session or something here. Like
I mean,
Bro,
have
we
you
just
ever had an emotional affair, or what part do you have to
Don't
contribute to
even
this?
trip.
Because you've been doing a lot of sitting and listening.
Oh,
Right.
You.
You just
that's
sit
what
had
the
no
counselor do.
Instigator.
That's what
He's
the
the
mouth.
counselor does.
instigator.
That's
I
what
don't
we do.
recall. I don't recall setting an appointment to sit
No,
on
the
your couch. I
counselor
thought this was an
counsels.
open
Are
discussion.
you
I
kidding
don't want
me?
nobody sitting on my damn couch
The
because they might
counselor
end up spending the
counsels.
night on the
Listen.
couch. Yeah.
Well,
As
Okay,
as
Right.
so
Right.
hey,
Rebecca said,
Right. Soon
or
as they come
it's
to sit
called a
on it,
timer.
no,
they want
That
to
Rebecca
time
said
is
the
play.
up. You
rent.
gotta go.
No, Soraya said the couch. No, you ain't coming to get no advice
You
on my
gotta
couch.
go. She said your time is up. You got to go. Goodbye.
No, but one of the key things that also one of the talking points, and I'm gonna go to this. We talked about marriage, like are women happy, married or single? That seemed to create a lot of smoke. Which, to my surprise, a lot of women were saying, "Hey, they single and this is the happiest
Clearly.
part of their life. This is the most happiest. They've been married, now they're divorced, and now they're the most happiest they ever been in their life." And it's not just it was just people who commented on the post. So what's good with that? Whatever.
why
So now
is
y'all don't
that?
need man. Now y'all ain't happy with us.
We happy with y'all.
I
We
mean,
still
why
love
wouldn't
y'all.
When
somebody
y'all know
be
how to
happy to
act.
get out of
Thank you.
a crappy marriage? Like, why wouldn't someone be happy to get out of a crappy
Thank
marriage? Like,
you.
a lot of times, a divorce is really nasty. And so, you can forget all of the beautiful, wonderful times and all of that stuff that was had through the duration of your marriage, because that divorce can get so nasty when y'all don't like each other no more. Like, oh my God, the battle lines is drawn, and like everybody is just going for what they know. Some horrible things is being said on both sides. So of course, if somebody has survived that, if they have come out on the other side, I guarantee you, if you ask the guy in that situation, he got balloons and shit too. Like, yeah, that shit is over. Like, oh my God. Like, I know a couple of dudes that just had to go through horrible divorces. And they were like, oh my God, I'm so happy. So, of course, they feel like they're happier. Yeah, this is the happiest time of their life because they just went through hell. So, yeah, you can't begrudge somebody that. Yes.
But
That's not to
how do we
say,
get to this point? How do we
But
get to this point when you sitting there and you spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this ceremony and the bridal shower and the bachelor parties and all that? How do you get to this point that now all of a sudden I don't like your ass? I can't stand your ass. What's good with that? Come
We
on
could
now.
talk about that all night. There's
I
lots
mean,
of different
hey,
things that could
mhm.
grow
I
apart.
don't, yeah,
it's a
You
but
will
I'm
whole
never
just
lot
really
of
saying.
get
Never been
started
married
to
it's a
know
whole
each
lot
before.
of
other to
other
begin
I
with.
can't speak
Like,
on
there's a plethora of reasons for why
right.
people get to
You
that
know,
point. And I mean, communication
so
is the first
many.
fall.
money.
Because
Money,
Well,
of
let me
people
course.
these
let
days
me
don't understand how to have an effective relationship with effective communication. I'm sorry, but I've never been married. I'm 44. I don't have any kids. I got out of the military when I was 30 something, so was what I grew up with. But now I'm at the point where I say, like, my motto is like, life is like a Rubik's cube because you have to twist it and turn it to find the right combination of things. So at my point in my life, I would
You better come on with your Rubik's Cube example, girl. You better come
I
on
would
with
like
your
to
example.
experience the marriage part of life now that I've had a lot of experience knowing what I do and don't like. That's
well
me
let me say
personally,
this.
because I've never been
Let me
married. I
let
would
me
like to.
interject
I've
real
never
quick.
been married either. So I'm with you. I'm 55. I don't feel the need to be married now, but if I could be, and I would be okay with that, but I'm happy. I wouldn't want to get married to anybody if I wasn't happy. And I wouldn't want anybody to marry me if it was solely my responsibility to make him, happy. I just want to be like the cherry on top. That's all
Girl,
Oh
and a
yeah,
lot
you
of
know what I'm
people
that's
are
saying?
true. It's
there.
That's
like
all
the
I'm looking to be.
A
bonus.
lot of people
But
are
I'm
doing that.
I'm fine where I am. If I find somebody to marry me and he's willing to put up with me, then I'm willing to make that shit work. I don't But right now, I'm
I wouldn't even
good.
do that to nobody. I just
You
wouldn't
know,
even do it to
Okay,
nobody.
I'm good.
so
I wouldn't put
so
nobody.
let
I
me
wouldn't
say,
put
and
nobody to them faces.
Let
you all
Scorpio
know
T get her.
that
Let Scorpio T comment. Go ahead, Scorpio.
I was gonna say you all know that I'm a newlywed. And I think that a lot of times that marriages fail because people are not happy with themselves.
Yeah.
What happens is when you're not happy and you're with someone, you can't escape that person. So your unhappiness boils out into the entire
Girl.
environment. It changes who you are. When I was single, I was happy because I totally enjoyed my own company. But me getting married added to that. I just feel like, if you're at a point in your life that no matter what happens, it's not adding to your happiness, you're not going to be happy married, and you're not going to be happy single. You're responsible for the bulk of your happiness. Not to say that you're gonna walk around every day just with a big
Yeah.
old Kool-Aid grin on your face, but in all
Right.
honesty, because everybody you fail
Girl.
yourself. You fail yourself. So how do you expect somebody else to not fail you when you fail your own self? You see what I'm saying? So you have to be happy first,
Hello.
and you have to be able to
Hmm.
be happy independently
I
before
get
you can
anxious
line
when
up
I
with
think
people.
about getting married, and I don't know why. I
Good.
really don't. It makes me. I feel like I'm gonna lose something, if I
And
get married.
that's
Because
really
a
kind of
lot
like,
of times people do lose themselves in the other person.
And
I
and
hear a
and
lot
I'm
of
not.
people
I
say
can't
that
put my
too.
finger on it, but
You're gonna lose
I
your
know
freedom,
it's
girl, and
something
you're
because
gonna
I
lose
get
your
anxious.
mind. That's what you gonna lose.
I need
That's what
that.
you're gonna lose. Gonna
I
lose your
need that.
freedom.
Not
You're gonna
really,
lose your
not
mind.
really.
Girl,
You
I said
just
when
have
me
to.
invent the marriage where I could live in my own house and you could live in your own house and we could do sleepovers and shit. Like I'll be straight. Because
That seemed to be a common theme.
I listen,
Come spend
It
the
does.
weekend. Let's
listen.
chill. And on Sunday
People
night,
need to
you
be
can go
able.
home
People
because you got
need
to
to
go
be
to
able to
work.
be who they are. And like I
Yeah.
want to throw my wig off and shit. I want to listen. No, men are visual. I'm not gonna let my man see me, with my face not, right. My skin is great, but
Whatever, man.
I'm just saying,
If you don't
I
like the
want to
way I look
present
in
a
my
picture for my.
natural state, you better not come
And I
around.
get you.
Shoot.
I agree.
See,
Listen,
my
and I
thing is,
get
You
you. For
better
listen,
me,
leave.
listen,
I don't want to even
listen.
have that conversation. I just want to be in my
Sria,
house,
Sria,
and I don't want to see
Sria,
you in. I don't want to see them in their natural state. I don't want to see it.
Sria,
I don't want to see them farting and shit all over the house. I don't want to see that. No, no. You go do that.
Sria.
It's I'm equal opportunity. I ain't being selfish.
Surreal,
It ain't just about
you
me.
have a
I'm
man trying
relieving
to
them
talk to
too. You
you.
need to be able to be free to
I
be
know she
you.
talking over me.
Yeah.
That's all the
We,
time.
Sria,
Stop it. Don't do
we
that,
should be able to.
David.
Sria, we should be able to see
Middle
each
of
other
my
in our
thing.
natural
Like you can't
states.
stop me when I'm in the
Yeah.
middle of my thing. Like that's disrespectful.
Sria, we
That's
should be able to see each
disrespectful. You
other
can't stop
in our natural
me in the
states.
middle of my, I was on my soapbox.
It's easier to see a man in
Like,
his natural
what in the
state than
world?
it is for y'all to see us. Y'all pretty much look the same when you're
I know
dressed
that's
up
right.
and
Oh,
when you're not.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Look,
Like
I mean,
look.
nobody,
you know
Yo,
what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
want to see
nobody,
you
Nobody
naked.
put on
Nobody
nobody.
does
I
makeup
that.
don't
on
want to see you
makeup.
no
They
Sunday
don't get
yo,
best.
their
No
nails done. They don't
farting
get
and
their
stuff all
hair
over the
done.
house
So
and stuff. Like I don't
basically,
want to do
the
it.
way you
I don't
see
want to
them
put
right
you
now,
through it.
all you got to do is imagine them in a suit.
I
You
don't
know
want
what
to
I'm
put.
saying? It's
Now look,
yo,
different
Herb ain't
for a woman.
walking
We got to
around with
put on
his look.
makeup,
Herb ain't
lashes,
walking
hair,
around with his brim
a
on and
push up,
shit all the
all
time.
of that
No,
shit.
yo.
That's
no,
what I mean.
no,
That's
Hey,
what I
hey,
mean.
hey.
no,
Tonight I'm rocking my
Why
no,
did?
all natural. I
no.
don't
Hey,
have
I
my
mean,
eyelashes
Hey,
done,
let's bring
my
the
hair
good doctor
done.
in. Hey,
hold on,
can we
hold on.
let's hear the good doctor. Let's hear the good doctor.
Now, agreeing with that, why did my dad tell me one time, son, I laid down with this woman one night. We woke up. I didn't know who I went to bed with because she looked totally different when we woke up.
see,
I mean,
ain't that some bullshit?
No, that
Don't you
all
sound like
know
y'all
y'all
the
gotta do
do.
truth?
is
Sound
wipe the
like y'all
crust
doing
out of
too
That
y'all's
much.
is
eyes,
Sound
and
like
I
y'all
y'all
pretty
mean,
much
like,
look the
I
man,
just
the
keeping it
no.
same.
real. He was just keeping it real.
I
That's how
mean,
it goes sometimes, right?
yes,
Nah.
absolutely. I don't have a problem with
Well,
it.
well,
I have
I'll
no
tell
problem being in my
Hey, I
natural
got a
state,
problem
but
with that. I'm good.
I
I'm
don't.
good. That's for
I
I,
me.
don't.
I
I
I
need
don't.
to be.
Because
I just need to be
this is
free
what
and
I
be
look
me.
like.
No.
You, if you can't listen, if the only thing you're expecting is the best from me, If for me to walk around with eyelashes, nails, and hair and makeup on all the time, you don't have the right person
That's doing too
because
much.
that's very rarely who I am.
I
And
agree.
I have a beauty and skincare business, but that's very rarely who I am. If you don't think that I'm attractive in my natural state, I promise you, I'm not going through a whole lot for you to feel like you should be attracted to me. Because I tell you what, when you wake up with the slob around your mouth and your breath stinking, baby, trust me, you're not in, you're not in your sexy state either. When your hair is not cut and your
Oh, I
beard is
am with
straggly and all that,
you.
that's not sexy either.
I
So,
I am with you. I right. I don't want to see none of
Oh, hold
none
up,
of it.
hold up.
Pretty
You got
much.
None
And
of it.
hold
everybody
up.
don't have a
Just
You
nice
got
beard all the
holes in
time.
your
I'm
yeah.
just
socks,
saying.
holes in your drawers.
Every
That's not sexy.
Yeah, hold up, hold
Right.
up.
I don't
Did you
want to see
say
no.
holes in
No.
the
holy
I
drawers?
don't want
t-shirts.
to see streaks in your underwear. No. Because
Yeah,
I'm not gonna want to
what
do it no
type of
more.
people
I'm
are
not
y'all
going to do it
dating
no
that
more.
don't wash
You
their
got
The
underwear?
first
yeah.
time
I
I
don't
do
know.
you got
laundry,
Yeah, I
streaks
don't
in
know
your
what
no,
y'all
underwear. That's a
dealing with.
your
whole
I don't know
different
underwear.
what
I
y'all
don't want to
dealing
do
with.
conversation.
no more. Like
Just
no.
wait a minute.
It just
Holes
seems
in your
like
What
guys
type
drawers.
of
never buy
people?
new drawers and new socks. Well, army guys, because we're always training and stuff.
I don't
And
want to do
I,
no
Oh
more.
my
I was
goodness.
dating this one guy. I was like, you need to throw all this stuff away. He was like, why? Those are my PT socks. I'm like, because they got holes in them. You can see through them. What do you mean? Why? And
If
plus,
a
science says you should throw out your
See, I
old
think a
underwear and
man
socks
needs to
once a
have his
year.
own house so that he can feel comfortable to have his funky socks. Like, no, when you come to me,
Mm-mm.
no, no, no.
Hey, David,
Mm-mm.
just so y'all know, it is a little bit of a lag when people are talking. I can see it like blinking in and out, and then everybody starts going at once. I don't know if it's happening like that for someone else.
no, all y'all just talking at one time. That's what it
Silent.
is.
So I think another reason why it doesn't work
I mean,
out.
that could be it.
I mean, I think maybe I say this before? I don't know. I got a lot going on in my head, but because people aren't versed enough in what emotional and intellectual intimacy is within a relationship. So I do a lot of reading because I like to know these kind of things. But this is one of the books that I'm reading, and it's really good. The
Which
Seven Levels of Intimacy.
okay.
Can you see it? Yeah. It's a really good book, but I mean, along the way, if you never learn these things, how are you going to be emotionally or intellectually or, mature enough to have an effective relationship with somebody that doesn't understand these aspects of a relationship?
See, the
What
problem with that, and it's a good thing, but a lot of people like, okay, that's that person who wrote that book experience, so they don't want to follow suit. My journey is different, but I'm like you, Anita. I read a lot of stuff. I get a lot of concepts from different people, and you only can
Mhm.
hope that you can gel everything into what you believe in. So there's nothing wrong with reading, but I'm just saying for some people, like, I'm not reading that. Oh, I'm not listening to that. Oh, they had their opinion. That's their life. But shit, again, if you keep doing what you keep doing, you're gonna get the same results. So you have to try something different. So it's nothing wrong with reading other people's perspectives.
I would like to piggyback on what you said about people and how the relationships fail. I think one of the things that people always leave out is that they go into some things with a certain expectation. A lot of them are unrealistic because you forget to take stock of who the person is you're with. Like you'll give a person attributes that they really don't have because that's where your expectation level is. You know what I'm saying? So when you can actually look at somebody, because when you can look at somebody and really know who you're dealing with, that's one of the things that cements your relationship and keeps you in it. Going into things with unrealistic expectation, it's gonna hurt you. And in fact, you're hurting yourself because you never gave it a chance because of what you thought it should be. You didn't discuss what you needed or what you desired or what you wanted, but this is the way that you think. This is what's in your head. So unrealistic expectations is a killer, and that
What
can be applied across the board for men and women.
Well, the thing is, what that we already know, expectations may lead to resentments. When they don't come through, you're gonna have resentments. So automatically, that leads to issues in itself. When you start having expectations, like when you start dating someone and you're talking and you start putting all these expectations out on the table, and you're like, damn, wait a minute, damn, we're just meeting, whatever. I don't want to hear this shit, whatever. Like, I just want to have fun. I want to get to know you. I want to laugh. I want to proceed on to the next date because we enjoyed each other. But when you already like, oh, well, I want to be married, I want to do this, I want to do that, that shit don't work for some people. Relax,
Well, I
relax.
tell you, if I can't laugh with you and have a good time with you, then it's not going to go too much farther than that because I want to be with someone that can laugh and enjoy the things that I enjoy and that can experience new things with me. So if you're not the type of person who can laugh and communicate and enjoy yourself, then I'm truly not a good choice for you. And you have to understand who you are. You don't know who you are. It's not going to matter who you pair yourself up with because you're doomed to fail. That's just my little opinion.
And
All
it's
right,
not going to
let
matter
me
what your expectations are or what you want either, because you don't have like you don't know who you if you don't know who you are, how can you expect somebody else to be able to put up with you? They can't put
That's
up with
true.
well,
something that they don't know.
let me throw this in here for added discussion. There was a scenario, well, actually, a true life event that occurred, and I'm not mentioning any ethnicities, but a woman went out with a man first time. She was running late, so I believe they were either on the way to or from the date. She asked if he could take her by McDonald's to get her daughter a Happy Meal. He declined.
Wow.
She said that's
That
why
sound
you
like
won't have
something you would
access.
do.
That's why you won't have physical access to me. And people were weighing in as to whether or not she was right or he was wrong, or vice versa. And to what Scorpion is saying, this is what I was talking about when I mentioned unrequited expectations: is to go into a relationship or any expecting somebody to give you something that you haven't earned sets you up for failure. So I always caution people, go into any endeavor, business, personal, or whatever the case is, with what you want, and what you can negotiate should be based on what you can bring and what you have to give. Because a lot of people are coming into relationships with something that they can't give, but they want it all anyway. And I think that sets them up. And the first thing they'll ask is, well, why can't I get this or why can't I have that? And the question becomes, well, what do you have to get that? I can walk into a Ferrari dealership all I want to and wish, and if I don't have the appropriate finances, they're gonna say, "Hey, bye. You can't afford to shop here." And I think that's what a lot of people don't like, is when reality walks up to them, says, "Hey, this isn't for you." A lot of people want to be upset, whether it's male or female. And we see how men handle that type of stuff. They explode. Some of them go
Shot in
into
the face.
say it again.
You get shot in the face, shot in the foot.
You know what,
Men,
Herb?
men,
I
aren't,
can't.
men aren't carrying firearms just to shoot somebody at random. I can assure you. The whole weapons thing with men is really over exaggerated. People need to understand that's a talking show that really needs to be put to the side, because that's akin to saying that a woman's gonna keep somebody's car at random.
You
Come
know,
on
Let
now,
Herb.
me say this. Let
Mr.
me
stop
say
being
Hold
Riddle,
on,
this.
hold
cautious.
on.
you
There are
mean to
Go
tell
ahead.
me that
there
you
are
don't
some
believe
things,
that
some
women are
endeavors.
battered and killed when they're trying to leave their mate? Talk to
I'm
me.
I'm of initial engagement.
I will say this. You made the comment about, you have people have different type of expectations and it goes across the board. For whatever reason, it brought a business plan to mind. When you write your business plans, this is you're writing out your expectations, you're writing out how you're going to get there, so on and so forth. So you do have a level of realistic expectation because you've done the research. You
Mhm.
cannot always do that with a person. So, sometimes people present you know what they say? There's a Chinese saying that says that a person has three faces. This face one is the face I show to the world. Phase two is who I am, and phase three is the one I never show anybody. So that's kind of how it is. You really have to be adept at I won't say evaluating. You have to be adept at evaluating what you're seeing. And that's a skill that a lot of people don't have. So you can have expectations and you can have your line in the sand. And as long as you know who you are and you stay, that's one of my things I told y'all, to thine own self be true. Be true to who you are. People like to change to do an impression. Like, if you're not the type of guy that buys a woman flowers, don't do that when you're dating, because that's an expectation that you have now given her that you know you're not going to live up with too. If you're a woman that does not clean up your house, don't clean it up when you're dating. I know that sounds crazy. I know
Nasty,
that sounds crazy.
nasty ass.
But
Real
yeah,
talk.
you know,
Hey,
That's
it's
real
listen,
it's
talk.
real.
I have
Hold
It's
up. Before we
real.
go there,
listen.
I want
All right, wait. I just want to say one thing.
Anwar
Yeah,
has
My house
something
is
to say.
clean.
I was just gonna say to what Herb's example. I probably wouldn't trip out over a Happy Meal.
Thank you.
You know, I try to be more generous these days, but I'm just thinking, would she take that and say, okay, he did this, now I'm going to ask for this, and this. So, you know, before we even get to know each other. So that's all I want to say.
I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking she's trying to test him and see what kind of person he is. Like,
Happy Meal?
just somebody who loves kids, and I asked you to do something like that, you probably would be like, okay, whatever, it's no big deal, it's a child. But if you have a problem with it, then I don't know. That might be a flag for her. Like, okay, if he couldn't do this for a child, then I'm not sure how well this dating thing is going to go, because at the end of the day, I'm a mother and I'm a mother first.
See, which
So,
is ironic to all this.
to say,
Which is ironic to all this, and Herb, you know about it. And remember, we came out with a show talking about tests, passing tests. And women said, we don't do tests. We don't play them games.
that's a lot. I know a lot of women who give tests, and men be dumb enough to fall for it.
And I said, y'all play,
every time.
That's disingenuous. That's disingenuous.
But it doesn't have to be a test.
Here's what I'll
Like, if
say.
I'm a certain way, I could want to see if you would, if you're that type of person that is, huh?
Do you understand what a test is?
Yes, I do.
What's a test?
What I'm saying, we talked about that, like that, like if I take you for a ride and you don't pump my gas and I'm expecting you to, whatever. But on the other side of the coin, if that is something I prefer in a man and that's not the kind of man you are, I don't see it as a test. I feel like it's getting to know the kind of person you are. So if you take me to a seafood restaurant knowing I'm allergic to seafood and you're just being selfish, I don't want that kind of man. I'm already going to know that about you. So it's not really a test.
It's still a test, no matter how you slice it up.
Well, you can call it a
That's
test.
not, that's not a test.
I can call it seeing what kind of person you are. Hold on. I can say, I'm just trying to feel out what kind of person you are in the beginning, so I don't waste a month or two thinking you're this way and then you're really not.
So you
like, I like to date somebody. I'm gonna date somebody who is a certain way in the beginning because that's what I like. But if you change up to somebody totally different 3 months later, that ain't gonna work for me, because the person that I'll say fell in love with or was attracted to is the person I started dating to begin with, not the kind of monster you became 3 months later because that's who you really are.
But this is the rub with all that. See, let me go back to the example I gave with the date. When you're dealing with children and they're not from the man that you are dealing with, you're not testing that man to see what he will do for a child or if he loves children. What you're doing is you're testing boundaries. And if a man is steeped in his principles and he has boundaries, he's going to stand on those principles if he's a man, like Rebecca said, worth his salt. Me, I'm not doing it because it sets a precedent. Because the first thing you're going to think in your mind is, you did it then, why can't you do it now? The
Says
old
who?
adage.
Who says that all
Are
women
you
think
a
that
mind
way?
reader?
That
You
you
work
think
for
because
Cleo
we
and
married
her
Oh,
husband
It
at
could have been
work
like a
now?
one-off
No, it
situation.
was
That doesn't
unreal. We
mean
was
that
on our
every
fucking
time
lunch
something
break.
happens,
We
oh,
it's
needed
gonna
to
be like,
stop to get
hey,
something to eat.
you
But you
boo for
can't.
the
oh,
bag.
Ladies, ladies,
Sir.
only
You
one
can't
person
say
can
that
talk at
every
one
single
time.
time that
oh,
I'm
Hmm.
testing you just to see if you just gonna feed my kid from
hold
here on out, or if you
on,
gonna pay my rent or some shit like that. Maybe it was
hold
just what it was.
on,
Hold on, hell. Maybe my
hold,
kid was
because
just
you're not letting
hungry and we needed to
you're
push
jumping
on
in
through there.
halfway.
That's like you asking for some pussy on the first date. Is you testing
Whoa,
me to
I
see if
thought
I'm
it
You're
gonna
was
give
just
it
jumping
to
in
you,
I
or
thought
if
it
you
was like
just
halfway.
that.
gonna jump in there and take it? If I say yeah, is you gonna hit it,
You're
or is you
jumping
gonna
in.
walk
You're
away
jumping
because
Hold
in
I'm
on,
testing to
halfway.
no.
see?
You don't know
Okay,
what
shit.
you
No,
haven't even
Herb,
given me a
you
chance to
can't
finish the
say
thought.
stuff like that. You can't say shit like that. That's
You
unfair.
had to give me a chance
Exactly.
to
That's
finish
not
the
even
thought.
fair.
You don't have to
Let me
finish
give you
that
another
And
one.
statement.
that could have
The
been a
words that
one-off
came out of your
situation
mouth
where it's like,
were, from
okay,
here on out, she's gonna think. And you can't say that. You
Right.
can. Maybe the situation just is what it was. My kid called while we was out. Yo, can we pull through here and get him something to eat? Maybe that's all it was.
hell, maybe she
Right.
just wanted you
Just
to,
like,
maybe she
oh,
just
Thank
wanted
you.
him to ride her there since she's already
She
in the
could have
car with
paid
him and
for
she
it
paid for the
right.
shit when
herself.
she get there. She just needed the
Right.
ride.
You
Like if
gotta
me,
stop saying shit like that. That's the shit
That don't mean
that
that
gets
she
under
wanted
my
him to buy
skin.
the
Oh,
food.
from now you can't do
right.
that.
Like if me
Let
and her
me
went for a
finish
ride
the
somewhere,
thought.
and then
Well,
before
yeah,
I dropped
wait,
you
Fuck your
off,
God.
I said, "Are you
Fuck your
hungry?
God.
Do you want
ladies,
anything before I take
ladies,
you
ladies,
home?"
No.
You could say
ladies,
yeah, and I wouldn't mind.
ladies,
Or you
ladies.
could say, "Hey, can we swing
Ladies
by such
have
and such a place
no.
before you
You
drop
don't
me
get to
off?"
say shit like you
No,
don't get
no,
to say
hold on,
shit
hold
like
on, hold
that.
on. He can say stuff like that, but you gotta let him finish his thought
What's the
about the thing.
finish?
Now
He
when
already
his
What's
thought
the
said.
is go
He
jump
finish?
off
already
the
said
cliff,
the
I
next
mean, I can let him
time.
jump
So
off the
hold on,
cliff
We're
hold
and
on,
catch
hold
gonna
on, hold
himself,
on,
say,
hold on,
but why not
hold
I
on.
stop you before you hit the cliff? Before you hit the edge, let me stop you right there. Pause.
So hold on. So Rebecca, so that there's no validity to what Herb said,
No,
or
absolutely not. You
No,
can't make a
no,
you
no
can't make a
way.
generalized statement and say, "Oh, I'm gonna ask you to feed my kid," and if he says yes, now all of a sudden I think he's getting ready to pay my rent. And anything that I ask him for, he's going to say yes, or I'm just going to keep asking because that may not have been the situation. Are there gold diggers out there like that? Hell yeah, there's men out there just
And
like
if
that
you
too.
can't
And
"Yes,
tell
you
that
know
it's
there
a
what?
gold
is.
digger within the
Tonight,
first
There
time
are
you
you
hit
men
the
know,
like
let
meeting,
me
that."
you
leave
got
my
a
socks and
problem.
my
Your
t-shirt. Next thing
evaluation
you know,
skills
my
need to
whole
be
fucking
worked on.
wardrobe is there. Yeah, but you can't make a general sweeping statement like that about women. And that's what I'll be trying to curb him of, is stop saying shit like
Kurt,
that.
Kurt? Oh, you forgot I'm 49. My
I
mother's
don't
dead.
care. I don't care.
My
But that's
mother's dead.
okay.
Don't
That's
nobody
why we
want to
have
hear
these
shit.
I don't give a
discussions
fuck
so we
about
can
how old you
discuss.
are. You
So
can't
you can
sweep
have
all
other
of us
people's
up into
point of
that same.
view.
Hey, you're free to voice your opinion, but Kurt, the only thing you gonna curb is what's out at the street.
Okay,
You're not
well,
gonna
you
curb
gonna
how
stop
I
saying
speak.
that
So,
That's
shit.
dead.
Okay,
Hell,
well,
That's
I'm
that's
dead.
why
talking
we
so,
about
have
an
these
approval
discussions
woman,
so
That's
not
dead.
a
everybody can
woman.
do a
Hold on,
thorough
hold on, hold on, hold on,
evaluation.
That
hold
you
on,
talking
hold on.
about me too. And
That's
I
that's
need
the
dead.
more
next.
wine. Hold on.
I'm about to be like
so,
Molly, sports tech, sport.
Fuck you. You
Listen,
can't say
so,
stuff like
so,
that.
so
That's
let me say,
offensive.
let me say something. Men talk that stuff about putting people to the test, or women putting them to the test, but they do the same thing. I'll give you a perfect example.
Preach.
This was this was some years ago. A guy invited me on a date. Of course, I had children. Of course, I had a babysitter. No problem. So he arrived to my home. He had two large pizzas or something along that lines, and money to pay my babysitter, which I did not ask for. So I took the stuff inside, had a conversation with my kids, so on and so forth. So after we pulled away and we got to the restaurant we were going to, I told him, I said, listen, that was a very sweet gesture. Let me pay you for that because it wasn't required. I'd already cooked a full meal. My kids went hungry, but it was the thought behind that. Now, I don't know if he was doing that to try to portray himself in a particular manner, but anyway, he wouldn't take the money. So what ended up happening, was I ended up sneaking and paying the bill for our date. I think he was trying to put me to the test to see what type of woman that I was, to see if I was just going to take that and let it be what it is, because I never asked for it. So to think that all women kind of are on that, and to say that men don't do that, that's really not true. Men put women to the test all the time.
I don't know who
So
ever
highly
said.
offensive.
No one ever said that man didn't do that. Women were saying when I said test, it's like we don't play games like that. We don't do that. And I said, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everybody has a test. Whatever. It's an
I'll say
assessment.
this: mature women don't do that, but
Thank
young
you.
women,
No, everybody
women-
does it.
all day,
Everybody does it.
Everybody does not do that.
Everybody
Not
does it.
everybody does
Everybody
that.
That is
Hold on,
not
hold on, hold
true,
on.
I could be
y'all.
playing
That's
games.
not
Like
true.
I said,
Hold
I know
on.
Wait a
within
minute,
5 minutes of
fellas.
asking
Wait a
some
minute.
critical questions whether I want to deal with
Can
you
you
or
fill
not.
my
I
cup,
don't have
please?
time to put you to no
Hold
damn
on. I'm gonna
test.
start muting folks.
Can you
Listen,
fill my cup?
listen.
Please fill it.
You know you do it. If you say dating is an interview, the interview is an assessment, right? An interview is you say dating is a interview, right?
Date is not
You
an
said
interview.
that.
You done
I
had
ain't
your
say that
interview
you
long
did.
before we went on this damn date. Let's be for real.
What does the
If I
Oxford
don't know
Dictionary
you,
say?
if I don't know
I
you and
can't
I don't
even
know something about you, we're not meeting up for no date. No way.
see now y'all
I'll
just
say
trying to
this.
take it to the
I
left, whatever.
think that
No,
everybody.
we're
Yeah, trying
not.
to take it
But
to the
Oh,
left.
well, when you guys take it to the level, it's okay.
Definitely not. Being honest.
You have scandalous women out there just like you have scandalous men. You have women out there that test men. You have men out there that test women. What I'm saying is stop sweeping us up in them general ass statements, because all of us don't do that. All of us don't have a
I
need
think
to
that's
do
not
that.
true.
If I'm dating you and yes, I'm trying to get to know you and I see you do something that I don't like, I may speak on it and it might be a deal breaker for me, but I'm not testing you.
So when you ask questions, when you ask questions, isn't when you ask somebody questions, isn't that testing to find out the answer result?
No, I'm just trying
What
to
is
get
it
to
for?
know you.
No. If I ask you how old you are, I'm not testing.
I ain't
That's
talking
not a
about
test.
that shit.
I'm
I ain't
just
talking
saying,
about that shit.
I'm
I'm not
gonna
talking
put
about
a
that.
man in a. I'm not gonna take a man to a bad neighborhood and then talk some shit to another man to see if he's gonna defend me. That's what I consider a test. Now, if we happen to be out to dinner and some shit jump off and he leave me, I don't consider that a test. I consider that I just learned something about you. I'm not trying to test anybody. I'm just trying to get to know you. So when you say stuff like that, I find it offensive. So you can't say that we all do that shit, because we all don't.
Okay,
This
so
is the thing. When I mention a scenario, I don't say all, I don't exclude
You
men.
did say that. That's what sent everybody in the room in a tailspin. You
Yeah,
said from
wondering
here
this.
on out, we know what's gonna happen. Y'all are gonna think. And I said, no.
I said, this is it. Had I been allowed to finish the thought, this is what I was going to say. I was going to say, when you give individuals an inch, they take a mile, but I was not allowed to complete that. I was halfway through the conversation because people took it personal. And what I keep trying to tell people,
every woman in here took
if you give an inch, they take a mile. That is
so we
not
all must
true.
have heard the same damn thing, because we all took it the exact same way.
Will y'all let him
finish? So how could you hear what wasn't said?
With the part that we did hear,
how can you hear something that's not said? Y'all talking about I said men don't do, which I never said. Y'all internalizing it, taking it and running with it when you haven't
No,
even
you said the next female, right? Isn't
But
that
you
what you
have
said? The next female is gonna think the same thing. I'm gonna feed you.
let me make this real fine. When the ladies are talking, myself, David, and Anwar are quiet. Why can't we get that same respect?
Because you be saying some whack shit.
Why can't we
He threw you all up in the group, in the generalized comment with us, right, Scorpio T? You see how he threw you in that generalized comment, right? Now that's what she's talking about. And listens and does not cut you off. But you threw her in the generalized comment with the other three.
All right. All right, all
And
right.
I
All right.
said nothing.
As the facilitator here, I'm gonna pass the baton to Dr. Anwar.
Watch your
Well, yeah, I didn't hear Herb say all. I thought he was describing a scenario, and I just didn't hear him. I've heard content creators say all and speak in terms of black women this and black women that. I didn't hear Herb say that.
Oh, well, rewind that. You'll catch it.
Well, I'll tell you what, while he was speaking, I never opened my mouth not one time. I said absolutely nothing. But somehow I got added to that. I said nothing.
Once
But what I
again,
would like to say, is that I'm gonna have a difference of opinion with my beautiful sisters on this panel. I think everybody has some sort of test that
Thank
they
you.
put someone through.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I don't. So,
Be it in the beginning or the end. For example, I've gotten to know you. I'm stranded. I pick my phone up and I call you. I'm hoping you're going to say, I'll be there. I'll send an Uber. I'll help you work it out. But I'm halfway expecting you to say, I can't help you right now, or whatever the case may be. To me, that equates to a test because I know who to call if I'm stuck. I'm not going to call a new guy. I'm going to call whoever my faithful person is. That could
well, if
be
you're
my
not
son. It
expecting
could
me
be
to
my
come,
brother
why would you call me then?
because that's a test.
Okay. Then, and if you do that, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm saying is that we don't all do that. We don't all do that, despite what anybody thinks. Why do you
I
have
get
to
stuck.
test
I know who I'm
somebody? I
calling.
know
It ain't
who
gonna
my
be the
best
new
friend
dude.
is. I know who to call when I think
That
I'm
part.
broke. I know who to call when I want to go shopping. I know who to call when I got a flat tire or I need some wood. I don't have to test anybody, and not everybody does that. And all I'm saying is to stop throwing
Well,
out
there's no
generalized
absolute.
statements like that. That's all I got amped about. Is
Well,
stop
I don't
doing
think it's
that.
a blanket statement. I don't think it's a blanket statement because all people don't do that. For example, I know who the heck to call if I'm having an issue. However, I'm saying that people do those tests, male and females. They may not be all of them, but it's a good majority of them that do that. I know men that purposely insist after a certain number of dates that they need to go to whoever the woman's house is to see if she's a good housekeeper because for whatever reason, that's their test. And if she's a good housekeeper, that means something to him, them, him, they, whatever. But I
Listen,
think that everybody has some sort of test, be it mental or emotional or even spiritual. There's always that one thing that you need them to get over or that you need to make sure that they're cool on this concept. So to me, I mean, maybe it's the word test that's throwing people off,
yeah, and I think that's
but
it. I think that's
everybody
it.
I think it's the wording that's throwing everybody off, but everybody has that thing.
And that's the thing. How do you weed people out? If you're someone who's dating multiple people because you're dating and you're not committed to someone, you have to have a screening process to it all. So you might throw something out there that may be the little test, that may be the little riddle, whatever. And like my Dietrich said, in the old days it was called courtship, but it's still a test. When you was courting somebody, nothing was final, but it was still a test. And like I'm losing names because y'all got me amped right now. Whatever got me amped on this subject. It's still you're still courting, you're still assessing, you're still saying, "Damn, do we want to go to the next level?" It's certain little things that people do that you say, nah, that rubbed me the wrong way. And then if you talk to some of your friends, they're like, really? That's small? That's small? They did that and you don't want to see them no more? So it's still a test. You might not like the wording. Scorpio T, I got it now. I got it now. I knew it was going to come together. And like she said, so no matter what, it's still people have their different perks, the way they go about doing things.
There's always something that you're looking for. For
Exactly.
example, I don't like people that are rude to servers, that are rude to the waiters and waitresses. If you're rude to them when I'm out with you, that's the last time I'll be out with you. Now, that's not something that I voice, but that may be something that I'm looking to see because I want to know how you treat other people. I want to know how you treat people that make less money than you. I want to know how you treat people that's in this whatever have you. You know what
But
I'm
isn't
saying?
that just an observation?
Observation is
That's
a
an
test.
observation. That's not
Observation
a
is a
test.
test. It's still a test.
No, it's not.
Observation is still a test. Yes, it is. I mean,
Okay.
maybe I'm from the education. Maybe I'm from the educational background.
Let me intercede for one
Yeah,
moment.
in the
Right,
education
Tina,
where an
right,
observation
Tina.
is a test because you get a grade at the end of the day that tells you whether you're effective or not.
Rebecca, let me
Well,
ask you this question.
Tina
Hold
in the
on.
comments said, test every spirit. And that's kind of like what you're doing to see if they spirit line up with your spirit.
Yeah.
Let me
Hey,
ask this
David,
question. Go ahead, Anwar. Go ahead.
no, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down. I just want to come up for a minute. It was nice talking to you all. So,
Oh yeah. Always.
got an early
We
meeting in the
appreciate
morning.
All right, brother. Thanks for
Okay.
joining
All right.
us.
Rebecca, when you give a patient a test in the hospital, what are you looking for?
Results.
Why?
Because the doctor ordered it.
Why?
Because he wanted to know something.
Why?
You'd have to
What
ask him that. I'm sure it's
Or
part of his
her. She could
treatment.
be a girl.
Looking for an outcome.
Okay,
Whether it's
no,
desirable,
not necessarily an outcome,
An
but a
outcome
result.
and a result are the same thing. You want to know if the person is healthy or if they're not healthy. And the only way to find out what ails this person is to put them through these tests. If you want to know if somebody, if you're interested in somebody or not, you can either go out with them and observe and see what kind of person they are, what they do. You could ask them straightforward questions. You could ask them questions about their past experience. There are thousands of ways to get to know somebody. Does it necessarily mean a test? No.
I don't consider
That
which is
a
what I
test.
keep
That's
saying.
just
I
me
don't
trying to
consider
find
that a
out,
test. If I'm
are you
watching you and
somebody
you're
that
not,
I want to spend time with and give are you somebody that I want to be around? Are you somebody that I should allow around me? It's not a test. It's just, look, what kind of person are you?
that's
It's just
all
that
I'm
simple. It's
saying.
not a test.
To me, that's an observation. If we're out together and a situation happens to arise and I watch how you interact, I'm not testing you. To me, a test is something that I deliberately put in front of you to get a reaction from you or to find out. That's what I consider to be a test. So to me, if I was testing to see if I could get your money, yes, I might say, will you buy me those diamonds to see if you're going to do it? If we just happen to be out shopping and some random salesman says, hey, don't you want to buy the lovely lady some diamonds? I don't consider that a test. That's just an observation.
but that's what the scenario led to. She was testing him to see whether he would do that or not.
And that's just fine. But your follow-up statement after that was he excluded himself. He stood on his principles and excluded himself from that because
I said
he knew.
she.
Okay, whatever.
She said he wasn't going to get physical access to her. I said a man that is about his principles, or as you say, is worth his salt, will stand on his principles. And I was going to say what I said previously. Some people, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
But what did you say prior to
I just said what I just said.
No, you said
That's
something
not
about
what
the
you
next
said.
female.
That's not
I
what
said she was testing him.
Okay, so what
Rebecca.
test
And I
do you
said,
have? If we went out on a date, Herb, and on the way home you said, my cat's hungry. Can you stop at the store? We get the cat some food.
never happened.
And I don't like
Would
cats.
never happen.
And I'd be like, nah, I don't even like cats. Wouldn't you have a
Would
different
never
perspective of me because your cat is starving?
Would
Listen,
never happen.
listen. It's just like somebody wait for you to open the car door, open the door, pull the seat out, and all that. It's little things you're looking for. It's little things that you're looking for that say, kind of your checkoff list to move forward. Come on now, stop playing with me. Y'all playing
I
with me right
Ain't
now.
nobody playing with
I
y'all. And
understand.
I don't
Nobody's
want a
playing
man
with
that's gonna
you.
beat me, but I'm certainly not gonna test him to see if he's gonna punch me in my damn face.
No, we ain't even getting to that
And see
level.
this,
Fuck out of here
Rebecca.
with that shit. No.
Rebecca, I understand. I honestly understand what it is when you speak about test. Your definition is something a little bit different than I
It's
think what they're
deliberate
speaking of.
for me.
Perception
Right.
and
So I get what you're
reality.
saying. I do
No,
get what you're
if I'm
saying.
testing you, it will be a deliberate action. If I observe you doing something while we're just going about our regular day, and I'm like, I don't consider that a test. To me, if I'm testing you, I'm gonna put some shit in front of you because I want to see. So when he
Right. I
says
get what you're
test, maybe
saying.
we, like she said, we have two different opinions about what a test is. And just like he stands firm on that, so do I. I'm not going to put nobody in a situation to see what they're going to do unless that's exactly what I'm trying to
So,
do.
so you go out with somebody. What are you looking for? What are the things you're looking for when you
I
go
need
out
you
with
to
somebody?
be if on a date.
Yeah, on a
I
date.
need you to be polite. I
How
need
do
you to
you
be
how do you
respectful
determine that? How do you determine that?
in your
Politeness.
actions.
Like what? Example.
I mean, do I really have to explain to you what being polite is?
Yeah, you do because
Really, you don't
yeah, you
know?
do because some people have a different definition of politeness.
Please, thank you. Not being rude. Do I got to explain that?
That's
I mean,
real
come
vague.
on, y'all know what polite is. Just be
Right.
polite.
Well, look, I gave the example too that if you're rude to the server or the waitress or anybody like that, then that's the last date I'm gonna go on with you. So that's just general common courtesy is what she's speaking of. If you're courteous to people or not.
Mm.
I'm just saying it. He's sticking to his guns. He refuses to sway. He will not be curbed. Neither will I. You're not gonna make me split hairs and explain to you what being polite is when I know you know. I
Right.
know you know what being polite is, and I know what
Okay.
you know.
Just common
Or would
decency.
I like you to open up my car door? Yeah, it ain't mandated. It would be nice. It's not gonna stop me from dating you. But if you get out the car and don't wait for me to get out, at least wait for me to get my ass out too, and you continue
Yeah.
to walk.
So for
I guess
example, he drop you off, and he pulls off before you get in the house.
I think that's suspect.
I'm
Yeah.
honest. No, I'm
Nigga,
honestly
let me
okay
get
with
in the
that
house
because I don't
and
want
be
to have to
safe
deal with
because
the
I would do it
situation
for you.
of him saying, "Oh, hey, why don't I come in for a nightcap?" Nah,
No, he in the car.
dude,
Yeah, he give you a hug. Then he go back to his side, and you walk in the house. Before you get in, he
He's
gets in
gone.
the car, pulls off. He's gone.
I
That's
don't like
I'm
suspect.
that.
I
cool
don't
with that.
consider that a
I'm
I'm
test.
not
cool
cool
with
with
that.
That
that.
would be
Right.
something that
See
I would
that's
observe.
the whole point of this. Because
I'm
some
cool
people
with
be cool
that.
with it, and some people like, damn, you didn't wait for me to get in. This is why we talk about assessment, a test. Y'all don't like that word because back in the days, elementary, when and your teacher say a test, you're like a test. You get all frazzled and shit over that word, but it's just a
I'm
word.
not
Not me.
It's
I like
frazzled.
that.
assessment. It's
I'm not
observation
frazzled over
and
that.
all that stuff.
I'm
Okay,
not
so
frazzled over that. I'm just saying it's just to me an observation is an observation. A test is a test. If you peel out on me, I'm gonna say something to you about it. But and if I think I can't deal with it, then I won't deal with it anymore. You won't have a second opportunity to do that to me.
But you
and
have to weed
and
it out. You have to have a weeding out process. Because
Okay, and there will be,
what if
but
you dating a couple people and they like, oh, they both been the same. It's been mediocre, but I'm really tired of going out with two or three people. Sooner or later, I want to make a decision. I want to wind down. It's something that's gonna stand out. It's something that you're gonna do or you're gonna present that make you stray one way or the other. It's gonna be something.
I mean, for me, I think it's like you listen to the way people present selves and act toward, like for me, a man towards a woman. If I have a conversation with you and you're referring to women as bitches or that effing bitch, I'm like, that's not appropriate. We're on a date. Like, why would you refer to women as the B word anyway? So I had this conversation with the guy that I declined to go on a date with after this conversation. We were talking about manscaping and, women scaping. And he said he told his girlfriend or whoever he was dating he didn't like a bush or hair down there. And so he said, okay, so they fooled around, whatever. So the next time they went to get intimate, she wasn't shaved down there or trimmed or whatever. And he called her, he said, this effing bitch was not even shaved down there or trimmed down there. And I was like, oh, hell no. You refer to women like that? Like, that is not.
Why not just offer to do it his damn self?
Or pay for the waxing, but it's the way that he referred to the woman as an effing bitch because she didn't do that, and it was like something that that small. Like, how if you're gonna say that about her, like what kind of things are you gonna say about me when I don't push my chair in from the dinner table? That fucking bitch didn't push her chair in. That's so rude. Blah 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 blah. No. So in that instance, it was observation, and that was a quality about him that I don't like, and I would not put up with or date somebody like that. I can't take a guy like that thinking it's okay to refer to women as bitches in a negative connotation. So if I'm going to take that person towards around my family and my little niece and nephew, they can't talk like that. And I don't like nobody talking like that around me either, because I think it's disrespectful.
Okay, so that leads me to read one of the definitions of a test. Test measures to check the quality, performance, or reliability of something, especially before putting it into widespread use of practice. Sounds like you look at the quality, performance, and different things like that. I don't care how y'all try to slice the pie about the word, whatever, and that's what we talk about, perceptions versus reality. It's real. Everybody does tests. You might not say, oh, it's really not a test, but it's certain things you're looking for. Certain things you're looking for. When you go on a job interview, trust me, and many of you probably been on a panel of interviewing people, and you come in and there's certain little quirks you say, nah, hell no. Nah. I've been on the panel, and I strong-armed panels before, and people came in, I'm like, nah, they talk too much, or whatever the case is. I don't like the way they look. I don't, they too hyper, or whatever the case is. It's certain things you look for. It may be like a informative test, like nothing structured, but certain things that you're looking for, and you realize, like, nah, this ain't it. That's all I'm saying. Everybody has a little tests, whatever. Yeah, I don't like the verbiage or the use of the word, but it's real. Courtship tests, whatever, it's real. Now, Rebecca, what you got to say about that?
Nothing. I mean, nothing, because you can't tell me about me. So
Okay.
you can put everybody else in there, just exclude me from that, because you can't tell me you can't tell me about me and how I handle what I do. And unless I'm purposely testing you, you can't tell me that that's what that is, because I don't believe that. And to me, that is reality. And so I won't let anybody dispel that, because I don't have to. You can watch somebody. You don't have to set them up to see what they're going to do. You can come to a conclusion just by observation.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't tell me that testing is the only way to find out what your potential mate is going to do or not do. You can watch. If you give a person enough time, they'll show you who they really are.
Pretty much. Give them enough rope to hang themselves.
that a test is the only way. Is it a way? Yeah, but it's not the only way, and you can't. There's
But
no
it's
way you
all
can convince me that that's what that is.
you hung on the word test. It's all still falls under the same category. Like
Not to
Tina
me
just said.
though.
Tina just said
So
observation is what we see in the behavior. A test is observing their reaction or
okay,
response to a situation. It
okay, and
all
again,
ties
I
in
don't have to
together.
test people. The observation could be enough for me, and probably would be enough for me. I don't have to put you in this. I don't have to give you a second go around to test you this go around to see how you're going to react to a situation. And I don't. And again, I think those are generalized comments. You can't put everybody in the same boat because everybody doesn't react to every situation the same. Period. I could never sweep all my diabetics into the same boat because
But
I
you would
can't.
ask, but you would ask them all the same general questions, probably.
Maybe
Social
or maybe
history.
not,
Social
depending
history.
on what I observe. If I walk into a patient's home and they're testing their own blood sugar, there's no reason for me to question them about that. If I walk into a house and they're eating some fried butter, I might talk to them about that.
Fried butter.
You cannot treat
You know what you
everybody
about to
the
get? Get the fuck out of Dodge. Fried butter? For real?
Hey,
Real?
I'm just saying, we as nurses, we observe and assess. That's all we do. We observe, assess, we
So
formulate a plan, and we teach it. So you can't
observations is
tell
a
me that
test.
I test
An
that you
observation is
have
not
to test
necessarily a test.
everybody for
A
everything.
demonstration is more of a test than an observation.
All of that has
That
come together. That's what y'all missing. That's what y'all
Okay,
missing.
well, apples,
Well, the thing
oranges.
is that y'all missed was when Rebecca said, in her opinion, the test is something that she deliberately created, which is why you guys are still having to go at her. And we're her definition is a little bit skewed. Her definition is more personal than the blanket statement. So it's like everybody missed her saying that, and they still going with it. It's still a test. I'm just saying.
And really, thank you,
No,
baby,
I
because
heard what
that's
she said,
all I'm really
and
saying
she's
is that
right. It at
everybody
the end of the
doesn't
day,
handle
it
everything the same way. They just don't. And so why say that when it's absolutely not true?
So you don't have no process or whatever. Just whoever fall in your lap, fall in your lap.
Okay,
Because
don't do that.
you know,
Right.
okay.
Because I like you. So don't do that. Don't do
Right.
that.
That's not. Yeah.
Cause yeah,
That,
I'm trying to be
you
ugly
being
now.
condescending now, and don't do that because that's
Okay,
not fair.
Rebecca. Dietrich said this.
Don't be patronizing, and don't listen to
Thank
Dietrich
you.
because he's full of malarkey.
Dietrich is the truth. He the truth. He said Rebecca seems to be too smart to be hung on the words. She got on her thoughts that don't make her right.
I'm not
it
trying to
doesn't
be
make it
right for the
wrong
world,
But
either.
that's
details.
her
I'm trying
It
to be
doesn't
right
make
for
you
opinion.
me.
wrong either. It doesn't make you wrong
Exactly.
either.
It's her opinion, and
Just
she's entitled
because
to
you
feel that way.
And don't
Let
get
me
me
ask this
wrong.
question.
So let me ask this, guys, do you deliberately test the woman?
There's
And don't
certain
sit here
things
and
you're
lie
looking
and
for.
say you don't.
There's certain quirks and stuff you look for. You look
But
for.
is that a deliberate test?
Do you
Yeah.
test them to
You
see
already
that?
know. You
So
already
if
know.
you,
I do.
Man.
hold on,
And
if
that's
we go
fine
on a
for you.
date,
That's
David, if
fine
we
for
go
you.
on a
I'm not
date,
hating on that. Don't get me wrong. I am not hating on that. When I said what I said, I was speaking about me. And so if you test people when you're dating, do you, baby, do whatever you got to do to get you where you got to be. I'm a watcher, I'm a looker. So I don't have to set anybody up to see what they're going to do.
You know what? It's usually authentic. You go with the flow. It's not like you sitting there with a pen and a paper and like, nope, she didn't do that.
no, but it's
You just observe
mental.
it. You know what you're looking for. Like I have to, and I know Brolic T as in special education. When you go in the classroom, you observe kids, and I come in there and they like, Mr. Glover, who's go? Who you in here? Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Because they already know he's looking for
Oh yeah,
something.
they looking
He's
to
looking
see.
for
Okay,
something,
now
and he has to sit
But can
there.
I
trying to
say
figure out how should
something?
I behave because he's in this room. What is he
Yeah,
looking for
yeah.
exactly?
And I'm looking for something. I never tell him what I'm looking for, and I get all this data.
Never tell them
and they
who
don't
you're
even
looking
know.
for either.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, when we in a meeting and the kid there and the parent there, they were like, damn, that's why he was in this room. And I come with all this data. This is what it's all about. We can slice it up how we want to. We can label it. We can say it's not a test or whatever the case is. There's things we're looking for.
I
We're
mean, if
But
it's
looking
there's
a
some
test for
things
you,
that
Brandon,
are
let it be
But
a
the
deliberate
thing
test.
about it
I
is,
don't
that
know.
I think
guys
it's all about
do.
context and the situation. Like when you're observing a child in the classroom, you're not necessarily giving them a specific test. You're just trying to see how do they react to things. How do they react? How do they act?
But you might have
How
something
do
in
you
your head.
react to stimulus in your environment?
You
This
might have
child might
something in
sit
your
there
head.
and not say nothing the whole period because they like, oh, I think he watching me. And I've had kids do that. Oh, I think he watching me. And they
And
sit there and they be a perfect student. And then the next day they go back to being who they really are because they're like, well, I think I passed the test. I sat there and I did everything that I'm supposed to do, that I know how to do. But I know that this is what I need to do to keep from having to go sit in a meeting with him.
Yeah, see,
okay,
I don't have that experience in
I'm
education.
raising my hand like a good
Never
girl.
know. They never know who the hell I'm in there for. They just see it and they distract anyway. What's up, Mr. Glover? Who you in here looking at? Then I'm taking my notes, whatever. Like, yo, focus on your lesson or whatever the case is. So kids, they don't know. They continue to be who they gonna be, no matter what. They
Some
not
of them.
unless the principal or somebody's in there. But me, oh, that's just
Please, I
chill.
know kids who don't care if the principal in there. They still gonna do what they want to do.
Well, then that
I'm just
depends
saying,
on the
if you
leadership of
observe
the
a kid
principal.
in your classroom, or you're just in there kicking back and watching, you happen to notice there is a kid that is answering every single damn question that is
Yeah.
posed to him. When you have that kid pulled and tested for GT,
Well, they
if
might
you had a
already be
kid,
in
if you had a
what?
kid that couldn't read, or you perceive through your observation that that kid couldn't read, wouldn't you pull and have him tested?
Well, I'm not even looking for behavior because most
And
of that stuff is
and these
already
teacher work
separated.
they thought has already given the test to see if
Yeah.
that kid
The
can or
GT
can't.
kid,
That's one of the
the
first things
GT
you
kid
do.
is not even in that
That's
class.
just a learning.
Yeah.
Most GT kids start off as being disruptive, though, don't they? Because they're bored in class. That's how they usually get pulled out of class, because they don't want to do the work because they've already done it. Or the kid that won't open up their
No, I
mouth
think
because
no,
they need glasses, but they don't want to tell nobody. Usually,
no, I think they
through your
usually
observation, you
go
pull
by
those
test
kids
scores
out.
first. They go by test scores first.
Okay, but usually you pull those kids out and they get tested, whether it's first SPED, GT, scoliosis. Usually it's through some sort of observation that you see something and you say something and that kid ends up getting tested. And again,
Well,
that's all I'm saying, is that sometimes it's just an observation that makes you think twice about the person that you're trying to have a relationship with.
observation is an informal test, whatever.
All
That's
right
all
then.
it
Okay,
is.
can I say something?
I'm
Can I
done
say
talking.
something?
You big mad, Rebecca, huh?
I ain't mad. I don't have to.
Can you
Hey,
guys
y'all
hear me?
stop doing that with all that little toxic masculinity y'all throwing around.
We
Just
ain't
because
doing
y'all
that.
said it is so don't mean it has to be so.
They throwing it heavy tonight.
Okay, so let me say something. Okay, so I've been in the situation where a man has deliberately given me a test. Okay. One, we went on a first date. After we went on the first date, the conversation went towards coming home to my house to have sex. So I denied that. So the next day we had a conversation and I was like, I was really uncomfortable. You didn't seem like that kind of guy. Why would you ask me something like that? And then I'm not portraying myself as that kind of woman. And he said it was just a test to see how easy you were. And I'm like, what? And then there's another guy. Okay, so we did our thing. We were, we went on a date. We did our thing. We came back to my house, did the thing, and
Gave him that work, huh?
he didn't say anything. He was like, "Oh, that was kind of a test to see if you really liked me or not enough to come show me where you live and, have fun." But guys do the same. They do have deliberate tests too. And in my opinion, I don't like being set up to see if. Hold on, I'm not even done. I don't like deliberate tests, like to see if I'm gonna come home with you or you're gonna come home with me and we're gonna have sex. That's a deliberate test because he'll come out and say, "Oh, you did say yes, so now I think you're easy and you're not worth it," or "No, you didn't have sex, so I think you're worth it," and that was just a test. That's so rude. Because what if I just want to have fun? What if I just want to have a one night stand that ends up to be a 5-year relationship?
This is what I'm getting out of this. This is what I'm getting out of this. Y'all have y'all lookouts. Y'all have y'all certain things y'all looking for. When a man tells you directly, this is what he's looking for, this is what the issue lies. Like Dietrich said, he said, everything they're talking about fits under a test. Tell them ladies to go to bed. They're tired.
No, we ain't tired.
Tell that He-Man woman headed go sit in the corner, face the wall. How about that?
The point is some people do have deliberate tests and some people have observations and assessments to see if you guys are compatible.
Hold on, Anita. Before you already have something programmed in your head that what you're looking for. You have those look afters that you're looking for before you go. You know your non-negotiables. You know things that you're not going to tolerate with.
But he might
sway
me
to be off my toes
and that's mentally in
There's
your
no
head.
need to test anybody because it's already been set. Hey, I don't tolerate this. I don't like that. You know, ask the questions. Are you the type to open the door? Okay, you're not the type to open the door. You don't consider yourself romantic. Okay, now if you're somebody who doesn't consider yourself romantic, but I consider myself romantic and I want somebody who matches me and is romantic, do I need to continue this conversation?
Listen,
probably
bro.
not.
Love languages.
It's not a test.
Brother,
It's different love languages.
That's not a test.
Listen, why would you ask somebody? Why would you ask somebody? Are you the type to open the door instead of you just waiting to see if it happens?
Why
That's
can't
the
you
magic though. That's the
I may not want to go out with this person.
Personnel. Why can't you ask a question? A closed mouth don't get fed.
So pretty much. That is so simple to see whatever. That's not nothing major.
Wait, you don't get to tell. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I have a rule of thumb. If I'm talking to a guy and within the first 5 minutes he brings.
You went out. You went out. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh. I said I have a rule of thumb that if a guy brings up sex within the first 5 minutes of me talking to him, I didn't even need to test you. You already told me what your end game is. There's nothing else to talk about.
Exactly.
Conversation over. Have a good night.
Yeah,
but it's not a test. It's just, hey.
Yeah, he never made it to that point. He never made it to that point.
Let me say this. You don't have the right to tell somebody what their evaluation process should be. If their evaluation process is to ask questions, why do they need to wait and see?
Thank you, because I don't like surprises. I like to know who I'm going out with. Did your mother raise you right or not? Because if she didn't, I don't want to raise you. I don't want to be out somewhere and have to worry about somebody spitting in my food or trying to poison me because you ain't here being rude and disrespectful. I'm good on that.
All I'm saying is,
I don't need all that.
If your thing is to test women, baby, do you. I'm not hating on that. Just stop giving me the blues because that's not what
I get caught.
Listen. I go with the flow. It's already things in my head that's already programmed. Some people not at that level to do that stuff, whatever. It's already, you already know. When you already know what you're looking for, and you can point, like when you go out shopping and all that stuff, you already know certain things that this is what I really want. So I don't have to go there like, okay, I got to put out this test. It's genuine.
Oh, well, then why you hating on me for being on that level? Because I don't have to test anybody either. I could just sit back and watch and wait. I'm fine with that.
Rebecca.
All I'm saying is that
What?
you made the statement, Dave. You made the
Y'all on
statement
my
would go with
shit
the
list
flow.
tonight. The both of y'all. The both of y'all. The both
So
of
you not
y'all.
coming back
Equally
next
and fully.
Monday? You not coming back? You done with us?
I love
No.
y'all.
She coming back and she
Well,
gonna
she
hand
gonna
you
come
your
back as a
ass
girl.
to you.
I
I
send her a message after every single one of these and say you get on my damn nerves.
know.
And he says he wouldn't have it any other way.
It's all
So
good.
But
It's
shut
all good.
up.
let's say this. Let me say this, Dave. Your
Go ahead.
method may not work for everybody. Everybody might not
Exactly.
be a go with the flow type of person. Some people like things more concrete. Some
Uh-huh.
people are more abstract. So that can't be done said blanketly either.
No, it can't. It can't. And I respect that. That's why it depends on the evaluator. We already know what we're looking for when you choosing a mate or whatever the case is. There's certain things you're looking for. So you don't have to go out and say, "Oh, we're taking the test," but you got some stuff in your mental like certain things you're looking for. Damn, did he open the door for me? Did he pull out my seat? Or did he when he dropped me off? Did he pull off? It's certain little things that you're looking for, especially if you're dating multiple people. That's all I'm saying. Ladies, relax. Relax. Rebecca, relax. We
I'm
love you.
fine.
We love you. I know. I know.
Trust
It's
me.
best. And this is the
I
beauty. This is the beauty of it
just
all.
to say this, I have my own test.
You left me. Where did you go?
Listen, it's all kind of chaos here. Okay, I'm just getting back.
You
Like
missed
it's
it.
it's
You
all kind of
missed
stuff
it.
happening. I listen.
I'm
It's
upset with
never
you
gonna
right
be a
now.
missed opportunity for me not to come in. And so for me, we were talking about the test thing. I ain't really for test. I got stuff that I just I ain't gonna deal with. Like, but let me know. I want to tell you what happened. So I went to go and meet this dude that I've been talking to for a while. Now I already knew. Now for me, this is not like a love connection or anything. We have 420 in common, and he's in the studio, all that stuff. They got that line now. Come to the studio. That's what they do. So we go, but we're gonna go and we're gonna have a drink. So the first thing is, so ladies, you let me know. Now, see, like I said, I'd already decided that this was not going to be a romantic interest. I'd already said that to him that I wasn't interested in that way. If he still wanted to kick it, that was fine. He was like, "Yeah, come through." So I said, "Do you want to meet somewhere?" He said, "Well, I don't drive." That's ding, ding, ding. Number one for me. I don't drive, and that's cool. But I know Herb, so it could be another kind of situation. Like, so that's the
Oh,
only reason that I stayed on the
I don't
line.
own a car. Just so we can clarify, I don't own a car. I do drive.
I know. This is what I'm
Okay,
saying. This is what I said. I
make sure
know
that's
you.
clear.
So that means that it could have been something different. So I didn't jump to conclusions. That's what
Okay.
I said. See what I'm saying? Herb just be wanting to fight with me. I already said, what I'm saying? But anywho, but it's still a flag. It's still a damn flag. Okay. I don't drive. So that's cool. No worries, because I don't want people at my house. No way. I just got back. So we go.
Done.
We're gonna go and we're gonna get a drink. And so he says, well, we have to go to the bar because here they've passed the law where they last call is at 10 o'clock. Like, that's crazy to me. And they do drinks to go. Imagine that. So we go. Now here go the thing. My truck, the passenger side of my truck, the door is all janked up. So I got to get out and let this brother out. Now, number one, he looked like Kevin Hart because he's shorter than me. I told you the decision had already been made before I went, that there was nothing else happening. So here I am now opening his car door for him to jump on out, so that we could go on into the bar. So
His feet
I
don't touch
get
the ground.
what I do. Look now. Now that's not his fault. That's my jank ass truck fault. That ain't his fault. I'm just saying. I'm just painting the damn picture for you. Cause see, no, people don't understand. There's a lot of things that go into a decision not to deal with a mofo. Okay, so he done jumped out the car like Kevin Hart and shit, and so we go to the bar. Now, I
Did you have a stepper
purposely
stool?
move
So
out
you
of
could
the way. I move out of the way so that he could open the door because I'm just that type of chick. You're opening the door, or we ain't going in the door. But let me tell you what this dude did. He opened the door, but do you know that he pushed me right on out the way and ran in talking about this cold out here? Girl, I was so
Oh.
I
Oh,
wanted to be
I'm
tagged.
sorry.
But this is how some dudes is out here conducting themselves. And y'all guys need to pay some respect to that.
We wouldn't even
Not
got
only
a
you just
drink because I'd have left him in.
you know, we just he pushed me, girl, pushed me
I'm
out
just
the
trying
way,
to figure
girl.
out, did you have to take off the child lock so he could get out?
Girl, I almost did not want to let him back in my truck. I had to ask
He wouldn't have
him,
got
I
back
said,
in
did
mine.
you really?
I'd have let him go
I had
inside
to
and I'd have went back
listen to
home.
me.
Good night.
Listen to me. I had to confront this. No. I said, did you honestly just push me out the way to get in? He 46, slow talking with a gold tooth stuck up in oh my God. Like
Mm.
we got
Oh.
to deal with come on. This is why I said the decision had already made before I went, and I was trying to be as honest as I could be when he still asked me to come out and get the drink. Look, this is not a love connection. I do not feel it. No. But he was
A
like, I
For me because I
understand
non-starter
that.
wouldn't have went out for that drink.
And this is
And
what
that
he
sure
said.
would
And
have
this
left
is
him
what he
there.
said. And this is what he
Oh my
said.
God.
That I appreciate your honesty. I still want to hang. You seem like cool people. We could smoke together. And I'm like, cool, not a problem. That don't mean you gotta push a bitch out the way though when you going through the door. Like he opened the door and then girl, I was fit to be tagged. We had to talk about it over that drink. We had to talk about it. He was like, "Oh, babe,
I'm
I'm
done at the
sorry."
fact
Nah,
that you said he looked like that. I was done then. I was done then because I'm just like,
Okay.
did he have to sit in a car seat?
no. Like I don't know if he had to jump up in that jank, but I know he jumped down. Now, it's a step. No, I can't do it. Height, all of that. The looks is important to me. I don't care what nobody say. It's all
She
important
said,
to me
oh
because
my
I keep it
goodness.
tight and I keep it right. And I need you to be the same. Like if I'm gonna have to deal with BS, then it's gonna be some BS that I can look at. If your eyes get to do the samba when you look at me, I need to do the cha-cha when I look at you. Like, no, I'm not. Why do I know? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. No. If you
I'm
want to
done.
bump uglies, then we're gonna have to be cute looking at each other. You can't be no booger wolf coming up to me trying to get with me and give me your dick germs. No. And you done push me out the way.
I was wondering who was gonna say it
You
first.
done push me out the way when you open the door. Come on now. No. Then you had the nerve to be handsy. Oh my God. It was so this is what we go through. This is what people go through.
Oh no.
This is what people go through. So y'all have to understand. Sometimes when we're seeming like we're attacking y'all because y'all not sensitive to what's really going
I
on.
don't have
Y'all
to deal with
judging
the
men
kind
by
of stuff
how
we gotta
y'all
deal with.
act. But no, it's some dudes out here that's game is straight trash.
I know that. We know that. We're aware of that.
Hey,
I'm
this
still
this.
done when you said he
Wait
pushed
a
you
minute.
out the
Okay.
way. I'm done.
Wow.
Hold on, no. I just want to find the point on what Saria said. This is why I say that everybody is not entitled to you or your time. It keeps the BS away. I tell you all
He
the
been
time.
texting me all day, dude. If you don't get off my damn phone, hanging out with you
But
was
she
fun. I
already
bet it was fun. I was rolling all the blunts, and you got I had to open your car door so you could jump out. I bet you did have a good time. I bet you did. But no, thanks. God damn it.
God.
but she did say
I'm saying it again. Learn how to
she
say
did
no.
say
There ain't
Say
nothing wrong
no.
with saying no, nigga. You just say
But
no
no,
all
she
the
had
time.
already
Right.
said she
I
had
didn't
told
go in on
him.
him.
I
I
say
already
no
told
all
him
the
it wasn't
time
gonna be
to
nothing.
those who don't qualify.
All the
The
time
people
he
that
say that.
qualify have no
He
problem with
say
me saying no
he
because they
just
are
say
hurt.
no before a woman can say hi to you. You just nah.
Tina
You
Houser said test
You
number
like
one, you
know
gotta
why?
be tall enough
no.
to
I know
grab
that's right, Tina. That's it. When I
You know
look,
why I say no? Because they have not passed the initial test.
all I wanted to do was smoke, and I accomplished that. I'm telling you what I had to go through just to smoke. That dude was nowhere near a candidate for nothing other than getting some weed from. I'm just keeping it 100. Quite honestly. And
You already,
listen,
you already had
no,
established
no,
the
he's
situation.
46. Listen to me. He's 46 and he was still using little white boys. I was like, then he couldn't roll. I said, well, damn, do I gotta light your blunt for you too? Like I gotta roll it, I gotta drive to the bar, I gotta open your door so you can jump out, push me out the window and shit. Now I gotta light your shit too. Listen, it wasn't even worth it. So this is why me and Herb I'm gonna have to grudgingly agree with Herb on this point that going out, all of that I went through just to get a couple of puffs was completely unworth it. But it was worth it so that I could tell y'all this story. See, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that this needed to be a cautionary tale to somebody. Okay, because one of y'all is gonna come up on this dude and y'all gonna be trying to like really make something happen. Like, no, this is not the dude for you. Well, actually, I ain't even gonna say that. This 2021. It might be the dude for you. Take him off the market so that he can stop bothering every other woman in the universe. Like sometimes the universe want people to get together so that they could leave everybody else alone. So
And
whoever
that,
is for him, go to 46. Don't drive. Gotta hop out the truck. If that sound like the dude for you, let me know and I'll let you know how to find him because he waiting on somebody just like you to come and take him off the market. And I'm begging you to. I'm begging you to so that he could stop bothering other people, so he could stop bothering sane people.
and
Crazy
that's the
people
same
need to
thing.
be off the market.
And that's the same thing, Rebecca, you said the other day. Like, please take them off the market. You don't want to see these type of guys.
Pay some.
You just
Pay
said
But
that on
some.
but
Friday.
just
On
like
Friday.
and you're right, but that don't mean that there ain't a woman, looking for that type of guy. My
Exactly. That's why I
standards
said
and
I need
somebody
her to
else's
step
standards,
up. She could
are not
DM
the
Exactly.
me. I will
same.
give her the
Yeah.
address.
And even
I
though
will
I
give her the
harass
address.
him, all the time, I do understand why Herbert vets women the way that he does. And I really am just giving him a hard time because for as long as I've known him, he's always been that damn way. So, I don't hate on nobody's process. I just don't want to be included in a group that I'm not in. That really is what
Right.
got me
And just
upset.
as just so while it's on my
And
mind,
not say if the shoe fit either.
my husband was supposed to come on this show, but he did get called out to do a removal. So he told me to let you guys know that next week he'll be here.
All right.
Yay.
We'll be here.
Yay.
We'll be here.
Let's go.
Even things out.
Yes.
Things is even right now. Me and Herb got this on lockdown.
No, y'all don't.
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't.
Y'all better stop
No,
that.
you
Talking
don't.
about y'all got something on
Y'all ain't got shit
lockdown. You
on
better
y'all.
stop it.
We got
No,
this
you
on
don't.
lockdown.
No,
No,
you
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 don't.
better
don't.
stop it.
This is what
I
make
mean, I
if
know
so, it's like
shit is.
what, 1 to 3?
Thank you.
Stop it, Brolic T. Stop it.
Thank you.
All right,
Whatever.
we approach it over the 2 hour mark, whatever. We're gonna get some closing remarks, whatever, and we're gonna come back with something, and that's on your choice if y'all decide to join in Wednesday.
Why
What's
we
the best
always
for
be
y'all?
on the time limit though?
Huh?
I mean, why we always be on the time limit? Just when the conversation is getting good, we gotta go. Like I know Herb got some
A
other
lot of
shit
people
he
have
might have
short
to do.
attention span.
You
No,
know,
I'm
you
off
gotta go to
tonight.
work.
No, I'm
You're
off tonight.
off?
I
Oh,
just
then we
actually
could just
off with
stay
some
on
fish and
here.
chips.
So they could just stay on and talk. I mean, does anybody? Well, I mean, I don't know who got to work early in the morning.
I do, but I'm getting up no matter what.
Listen,
Pretty
I
much.
got up early
Getting
in
no
the
choice in
morning
that
on a
matter.
hangover. I can get up
I'm
early in
up
the
at
morning after
5:30 no
talking
matter
on the
what.
phone.
I be trying to respect people's times. I don't want to strong arm y'all like, okay, we got a 4 hour streaming thing, whatever. So I try to be
You ain't
respectful. If y'all
strong
need
He
arming
trying to run
nobody.
while he think he
Listen, I
ahead.
got it on lock.
Right,
Right,
why he
right. Talking
thinks
about he got
he's
it on lock.
ahead.
That's what he trying to do. That's what's up.
Y'all need to get up a topic up here about raggedy men, because
Right.
I'm
I've
just
been
saying,
talking
because
about
y'all don't
it.
never
Every
talk
time
about
we've been
and
that.
I
talking
ask
about
y'all all the
this
time.
out
I
here.
ask you all the
When can
time.
we talk about the raggedy men out there? Cause
Okay,
I got
we
some
can.
stories.
We
And I
can.
just told you about
We
one
can. And we
pushing me
can.
over to get in the
And we
damn
tell
door.
y'all every time, inbox me, inbox her, and come with something, whatever, a descriptive, and we'll talk about it. Don't
Because
discriminate.
You don't
y'all
tell
don't
Raggedy
nobody
be.
that
man.
know all the time.
I'm just
It's a whole
saying,
bunch of
y'all
Okay,
raggedy.
well
Listen, most of
let's
the
handle it like this.
scenarios that you put up got raggedy men in them. I don't know how y'all be trying to turn around to a woman
I
talking
know,
about
but
a man
trying
is
to turn it
raggedy.
around on the
But in
always,
most
women.
of them,
Well,
in most of the
always,
scenarios you put up is some old raggedy man.
well
Talking
let
about
me
I
let
see,
me
I see
let
you
me
when I
I
want
think
to
I'm
see you,
fair.
not when
I,
you call me. If you don't get out of
I
here,
think I'm fair
raggedy
with my
Andy.
thing. I think I'm
I
fair
know
with
you
what I'm
do.
supposed
I know you
to be.
do. I know you do, boo. I
well
know.
let me ask the question like this then. And we'll start with Anita and we'll go to Brolic T, then Rebecca, then Scorpio, and then we'll end with Saria with this question. In your opinion, or your observations or your dealings, what is a raggedy man? Anita, start with you.
Oh, somebody that don't have their stuff together, that don't know how to act properly towards a woman, that maybe never emotionally or personally had the opportunity to grow and self-reflect, because that's part of evolving, and especially knowing what you do and don't want, and what women prefer over you acting like an asshole. So you don't have a job, you're not financially stable, you got to act like an asshole, you're not evolved enough to learn from past relationships or read books. No, raggedy.
Okay, Brolic T.
A raggedy man, somebody who does okay, so he's a compulsive liar, does not have his priorities straight, definitely could be, well, no, definitely if he's a deadbeat dad, he's definitely raggedy as hell, because I mean, how could you not, but whatever. Somebody who just doesn't know what they want to do with themselves in their life. I'm sorry, but you can't be in between jobs forever. At some point, you got to find something that make you happy and do it.
Sit and
You
do it.
know, if you don't have a bank account, you definitely raggedy as hell.
Check cash it up.
Yes, ain't nobody got time for that shit. Run me to the check cashing place. No, bitch. It's called direct deposit and a job. Figure it out.
Wow.
Even a Cash App card got a direct deposit. Now they better
Thank
stop.
you.
Okay.
Oh, can I add one more thing? If he got to borrow money from his woman all the time, that's no.
When you can't support your damn habit, if you drink, smoke weed, all that shit, and you got to get money from your woman, I don't know. You
Yeah,
got to figure something out.
that's kind of sad, man. It's really sad. But go ahead, ladies.
Rebecca, go ahead.
That's
Rebecca.
today's
I'm
guys.
kind of
That's what
with
we got to
him.
deal with.
If you're first and foremost, if you're a father and you're not taking care of your children, um you don't need shit else on the list for me to consider you to be a raggedy man. But if you're a liar, an abuser, I won't necessarily, if you don't want to work or you just refuse to work, um all those things qualify you as a raggedy man. Not that women don't fall on that list too, but a liar. I'm not. You ain't about shit. So, you know, y'all know what a raggedy man is. They make it
We
hard for
asking
y'all.
your opinions because we don't want to interject anything. That's why we're asking.
Yeah. So that's what I consider um a raggedy man. So anything else, I can pretty much help you clean it up. But some qualities, just all the scrubbing in the world ain't gonna help you. So
And a whole bunch of money in child support is definitely
yeah, I
one.
can't. You can't date me and start talking about your kids, how you ain't paid child support and you're not gonna, because I don't give a damn what's going on. Those are your kids, but I feel that way about women too. So, but yeah, them type of guys.
To me,
Yes.
it's a man, in my opinion, because there's too many things that I can add to the list. So what I'm gonna say is a raggedy man to me is a man that's not a man, or one that has to be made to be a man.
Can you expound on that?
I can, but I'm not.
She said, "I can, but I won't."
I'm not. I'm
I
not,
feel you.
because a lot of the times that gives men blueprints to exactly what they need for you. So no, I'm not going to expound on that. A man that is not a man, or one who has to be made to be a man, is my definition.
Fair enough. Saria?
Mine is just, a man that can't get right because he doesn't want to. I think that being a raggedy man, being a cool dude, being whatever type of man you're going to be is a choice that you make. So it's the choices that you make that make you raggedy as hell to me. Like that mofo that pushed me out the way to walk in that damn door first. That's some raggedy shit. That was some raggedy shit. So now, but no, seriously, I think it's the choices that you make. If you're making choices that are just contrary to the person that you're with, to their happiness, then to me, you're a raggedy person, because how could you love somebody and want to see them sad, or want to see them hurt, or not want to do anything to make them happy? Like, how do you live in a house that's struggling like that and you just are contributing to that? So to me, your choices is what make you a raggedy man. If I can't get anything from you that's positive, that's lending some solutions to this situation, you're a raggedy mofo. Like, and I'm gonna tell you that shit to your face. And then you gonna be real, then your lips gonna be tight, you know. Then it's gonna go where it's gonna go. But because I understand that men hold women to a very high standard, and you guys don't have any problem letting us know when we have fallen short. So that's why I take no quarter with telling somebody when they're falling short of, doing what we've established that we're gonna do. Now, I always bring it up, but what, you don't got to do nothing really, because it's not your job to make me happy. It's my job to make me happy, and I'm putting too much of that on you. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So for me, raggedy is just a can't get right, just don't want to do right. Just making choices that are just about their happiness and not about their partner at all. That's a raggedy dude to me.
Just for the
I
record,
think
my
y'all
scalp hurts today.
sometimes y'all forget what good women have to go through. It's
Well,
always
I was just going to ask
it,
that question. How do you ladies avoid having to deal with the type of men that you find ill repute or undesirable?
I
I mean,
think
it's
a
like
lot of
shoes.
that comes
You try your
with
shoes
time
on and
and
find the
maturity
right ones that fit.
and and
I'm not
and
going.
and
Here's the
instinct.
answer. I'm not going to deal with you. If I
Yeah.
find you undesirable and unattractive, the simple answer is I'm not going to deal with you. That's it. That's all. Nothing in the
But
middle.
how
I believe
but
that
how
comes
do
with
you
our age and experience too. That
Yeah.
comes with our age and experience. Because see, back in our 20s, you willing to sit around and count the damn days. Because you still thinking that love conquer all. Somebody done sold you that fairy tale and you done bought it hook, line, and sinker, and you still willing to wait around, on somebody because of his potential. Those are the potential people that fall in love
Hold
with
up,
mofo's potential. That's
hold up, Soraya. Hold
what?
up.
Hold up, what?
I gotta interject because it's a lot of grown people that our age that they say love conquers all. I've been
Yes, it
disputing
is a
that
lot
all.
of grown people, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is we got to go with the majority. A lot of times we want to highlight the minority. This is something that happens majorly with a younger crowd. Now, of course, you got some grown-ups that never grew up. that's determined to keep on bumping their head against it. But that's still a young mentality.
No,
That's
no,
still
no.
somebody who hasn't learned from their life experiences. That's still
Most,
someone who's stuck in that fantasy. So
most,
whether you
most of the
young
people.
chronologically or whether you young mentally, you still stuck in a young mentality if you're thinking that love will conquer all. Love just wants to exist. It don't care where it exists at. People conquer demons. Your choice is that you have to work at that. That's not
Yo,
something that's just gonna go away by itself. Problems just don't go away. They have to be worked at, and you can't throw your heart at it and be like, "Love, fix the problem."
yeah,
No,
She
I
said,
agree
we
with
just
you.
talk.
I
Yeah,
mean,
You
but
I
that's
agree
fair.
with you. I agree
We
with you.
all love
love.
somebody, and if it was the love between me and my daughter, if I thought that would fix everything, that was wrong in my life, I would be straight. So I agree with that. Having the love of your husband or your partner in life will sometimes give you the strength to
Mm-hmm.
stand up and square your shoulders
Absolutely.
off and face your
Absolutely.
problems, but the actual act of loving doesn't. Yeah,
No.
it ain't gonna fix your problems. I agree with that, but being in this day and age, being a good woman and trying to be found is not necessarily the easiest thing, because sometimes, and I'm not going to say all men because that would be a generalization, but sometimes men look at women like us and think, I'm not even coming over there to fuck with you because you sound too much like a dude. You're independent, you pay the bills, you run the house, you're used to standing up and going to work, and you
Oh,
don't mind getting your
girl.
hands
I know
dirty.
where they
All of that
at.
shit that normally we would think a man would do for us in a marriage, and they don't want to be bothered. And then you have some men that are like, that's exactly what I'm looking for, a mate that's going to work right along with me. She ain't scared, and wop wop wop. And when I hear y'all talk sometimes, and I will apologize, maybe I came out of myself a little too much, but I get offended when I hear shit like that, because I'm just like, that ain't me. And that
Yeah.
doesn't appear to be any of the women that tend to get on here and talk to y'all. That ain't us.
We
We
already
don't,
know that. We already know
but
that. It's no
But
then
you
but
know
absolute.
what?
but
It's the
It's no
matchup,
but talk
absolute.
about
babe.
us
And
sometimes.
I had to realize that too. That's why I said in the beginning, Herb and I, we used to go at it because, as far as I was concerned, like, no, I got my sword out for all women. But I had to put that shit up because all women aren't like me. All women don't think like me. And that's not saying that they need to, but I have a unique way of coming at different situations. And so I got to step back and I got to look at the truth of all of it. So if I see a chick and she doing some stuff that's just way out of pocket, I gotta let it be known. I'm equal opportunity. Just like I get on the dude's ass about something. Oh, I'm quick to get in the chick. What? Hold up. It's because of chicks like you that we have to go through X, Y, and Z because you're allowing this shit to go down. You okay with this kind of stuff? You know what I'm saying? So it's just not about we don't want to. We're mad that you're coming at us. Is that we are those of us that are you know
Yeah.
stepping up to other women and saying, hey, you on some tramp shit and you need to check that. Sometimes it don't feel like the brothers don't do that to each other. Y'all don't check each other like that. Y'all
Why
got
you
to
don't
come and
think?
tell
Why
us
you
what
don't
we're
think we
supposed to do.
check each other?
Because I
Why
don't never
y'all don't
see it.
think that?
Because
Why y'all
if
don't
you
think
did
that?
it, because if you
Y'all
did it,
can
you
lose
I
tell
y'all
us
shit
about it.
and the stupid
Because
shit
if
that
you
y'all
did it,
do to each
controversial
other.
counselor, you tell us about it if you did it. That's why I know you don't.
Oh, we do. We do. We
When
check. We
invite
check
me
each
to
other.
them parties, invite me to those lives then, and I'm gonna sit back because I need to see it. I need to see y'all go in as hard on the men that are acting a fool
Saria,
as
Saria,
you do on the women. I need to see it.
Saria, I can invite you to a weekly hangout that lasts 6 to 7 hours where men are getting diced and skewed because they behave like bitches.
Well, I mean, I'm asking for the
Now,
invite is what I'm
hold
doing.
up, hold on. If you want me to, I can tag you in streams that I listen to personally, where we are just bashing men who behave like that. So believe me, we do. You may not hear about it, and I understand that, but it's out there.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you understand. We don't hear it. So, would you understand if everything that if all the ladies on this panel, if all we ever did was just talk about the wrong things that guys do, and we never acknowledge that we know that it's chicks out there that's doing just bullshit. You'd accuse us of the same thing that we're accusing you of, that we don't
No,
see
I
what's
wouldn't
going on.
personally because
So I'm
what,
asking to be part of, I need somewhere where we can be a part of that conversation, because now I'm not necessarily one, because I am one that understands everybody's play. I just want everybody to have it. Listen, if we cussing one out, we need to cuss both out. You can't just talk about single mothers if you don't talk about the dudes that abandon them and make them that way. And so that's,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna
Yes.
praise the single mothers, I think you need to praise the single fathers, because it is some
Yes.
fathers out there that is doing
Yes.
they fucking thing. So I'm just equal opportunity on both sides. It's just that simple.
Yes.
I don't think because you
Yes.
can't have one without the other.
Yes.
And Herb, what do you
Absolutely.
mean by men acting like bitches? I need to know that definition.
Like
'Cause I
pushing
don't.
chicks out the way to go into the door
No,
first.
let Herb answer this one. Let Herb answer that.
Because I do
You
take
right.
offense to that.
You right.
where's the bitch?
Well, no, you can't take. No, don't
That's
do
a
that,
negative
baby.
connotation.
No, it
It's
isn't.
actually a female
A
dog.
bitch,
So
a
what
bitch,
exactly? So exactly constitutes a man acting like a bitch? I'm curious.
Mhm.
one
Right,
is
break it down like you want them to
Because
break
then
it
you're
down for you,
calling
Herb.
other females bitches,
one that's
and
uncouth,
that's offensive.
one that's uncouth, unaccountable, won't stand up, won't man up, won't do the things that a man is supposed to do to be considered a man. See, far too often we allow boys to masquerade as men. We allow males to masquerade as men when they're not.
And
Just
didn't
like,
answer the question
hold on, hold on,
about using the
She's
term bitch.
upset about
Thank you.
the
hold
word
on.
bitch. Her
Just,
that
just like
she's
Frederick
upset
said,
about
just
that.
because you've grown, don't mean you've grown. We allow boys and males who have achieved the age of maturity to become men when they're not men. Homosexual, people who are out here misusing women or using them just for what they can and they're moving on, don't even care about the damage that they're doing. See, I can go on. I have no problem. I have no problem calling a boy to a man.
What
And
does
I told
Rebecca,
homosexuals
does
have
that
to
have
do with
anything
that?
to do with my question?
say that again.
She's upset with the word bitch. She's asking you to
Yeah, I'm
That's
asking
fine.
you
the
why you have
word
to
bitch.
use the
And so
negative
what you're saying,
connotation
her.
bitch
It's
Okay,
not a
so
instead of
negative
something
connotation.
let me
else.
see if I get it.
It's a
Let me see if I
connotation.
got
Let me put it
Herb
to you like
right.
this.
Herb, are you
Let
saying
me
when
put it to
you
you like
said the
this.
word bitch that you're not referring to a dude acting like a bitch as in he's acting like a woman, like a female,
Correct.
like a you're referring to like bitch assedness. As in, because
Correct.
you know, I done called dudes bitches before, you know, and I don't mean that they're acting like a woman or that they're acting like a female. It mean that you a bitch made dude, like you don't,
Right.
like, you know, you
You
so
ain't been
that, but
here
that's
to
just
be a
me. I'm a sailor too, though, so I mean, you know, some things may have glossed over me, and I don't really care because I done heard it too many times, and so I choose to pick my battles, and so like, you know, it's some words that we're not gonna get rid of. But I don't never take it
Over
as to
there.
mean that a dude is acting like a chick, though.
and none of the things that I said had a reference to a woman. Put another way, is a hammer destructive or is it constructive?
So I would just try to understand, because normally in my world, when guys refer to somebody as a bitch, they're talking about female in a negative way. So I would just try to understand.
No, and I don't have a problem with that, but that's what I said. Every explanation and answer that I gave you had nothing to do with a woman. That's why I asked the question. What is a hammer? Is it constructive or is it destructive?
A what?
A hammer.
Girl, he done threw another riddle at you, girl. This is
Oh
what
It could
happens.
be
boy.
either.
We
It could be
already went
either
through
one,
this.
Here,
depending on the
here's the
Wrong.
answer.
situation.
Here's
He
the
done
answer
threw
to
another
that riddle.
riddle
It
at you,
can be
baby.
either
It's
one,
both.
Y'all go
depending on the
ahead. I'm about to take a
situation.
little
Here's the
break.
answer to your riddle. The answer is
Depends on the
both
riddle.
instructive and destructive. It's how you use it that makes the difference.
Correct.
Exactly. Depending on the situation, it could be either or.
Okay, so
See,
when
But
he
the
was
reason
saying
she
that
had the word,
a man
the reason,
acts like a bitch, and when he gave his description of what he was referencing, none of that sounded like a female dog to me. I'm just
No.
saying. He said something that's not accountable, he didn't have anything positive to say in reference
Right.
to the word bitch. And that didn't sound like a female dog to me. So I would have to assume, even though he says that's not what he meant, is that you were saying a man that acts like a woman, because that didn't sound like a female dog, because in the true sense of a word, a bitch is the damn protector. She gets it in. So as far as dogs go, now we all know that some women call other bitches or other women bitches, and it's a badge of honor. Why? Don't know, but okay.
Correct.
My thing is I think you really, I'm not even gonna go there. I just don't think that you were referencing a dog when you said that. So I can't see any other term that you would use the word bitch for, unless you were talking about a female.
But
Well,
what I'm saying,
that's because
And my thing
historically
is
the
you could have
word
just said a bunch of men acting like boys. It would have been, I'd have swallowed that one better.
Well,
what
historically, that word has negative connotations attached to it. Just like there are other words that you can use that's going to bring up a negative response
Yeah.
almost immediately, depending on who you're talking to. So
Yeah.
that's why she's taking issue with that word.
I don't disagree. That's why when she asked, I laid it out. The reason me asking what the definition was is because we all know that definitions and terms evolve, just like gay. Gay originally meant happy. Nobody calls anybody that's happy gay.
Yeah.
Same thing like nigger or nigger. That had a negative connotation, but somehow, some way, it has morphed into meaning something different.
Right. So if I said, Herb, you're my nigga, are you cool with that?
I will check you on that.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
But
Like,
the reason why I would check you on that is because I don't behave in any resemblance of that term. I'm not saying you can't use
but
it for
I didn't say nigger. I said
no,
nigga. Like
I know what you're
everybody else
saying.
uses, like, homie, you're cool.
Girl.
Like, we're cool.
That's semantics,
Listen,
and don't go there.
let me jump in
That
right
will
quick.
bite you in all different ways. Just
Hold on.
don't.
I understand what she is saying. I said for me, I would correct you on it. I would check you because I don't behave in any way, shape, or form in resemblance to that. There are some people who are okay with it. I'm not at liberty to tell them how somebody else can respond or refer to them. If that's their report, that is their report. I don't use it. I don't want anybody using it toward me. It's like and I can't remember the movie, and I believe it was Denzel, when somebody asked him that. He said a black man that respects himself would never respond to that. And that's my point. So when David and I did a show about this last year. And we talked about this at length. And now it's at the point where anybody feels free to use that word. And we have ourselves to look at. We have the culture, the music, and everything else that we have told people it's okay to refer to us in that way.
Just
so
like
we can't.
I'm saying that it's a negative connotation that has evolved for men to refer as a bitch. Like, it's negative.
I'm not mad that you said it. So let me say that,
No.
because I know other men consider it an insult if
Right.
you tell them they're behaving like a woman, because we're considered the fairer sex. So
correct.
I'm not hating on that. Like old girl said, I choose my battles wisely. I was just wondering if you were actually going to admit that that's what you were thinking about these men who do this raggedy shit, that you out here acting like a female. I was just curious as to what your response was going to be. So I don't want you to think that I'm upset, because I have told plenty of women that they act like dudes, but they consider that a badge of honor, because they be getting it in. So I was just curious. I just want to put that out there.
Now, me personally, I'm never going to call a female one. I'm just simply going to leave you alone. If I think you out of pocket or you misbehaving in a way that I deem inappropriate, I'm just upset. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just like, all right. I'm gone.
I'm just,
you'll never see
I'm
me.
with
You'll never hear
I
from
would
me.
like to be in on some of them conversations that you have with these men that you consider bitches. So
And
I
so,
would, I would
and
love to
here's
hear.
why I don't get offended, because I
Yeah,
understand that
yeah,
men have their own code and their own language when they're talking to each other, in much the same way as women, we have ours. There's
yeah.
some things that
Right.
we would say, that would leave some men, they wouldn't know whether to, wind the ass or scratch their watch, okay? Because we can come up with some terms and things with each other. And so when it's men talking to men, I know how to be in the room and just let them in talk, because see, I'm curious, because I want to know how they're all thinking. I want to know how different men are thinking. I
Learn a
want to
lot
know
by
on
just
the things that
listening.
you
Yeah.
just learn by listening. That's why you got two ears and one damn mouth. You're supposed to listen more than you talk, so that you can actually learn. So that's why I want to be included. I don't want to be included to intimate any of my ideals. I'm just curious because I never hear it, and I would
Right.
love to hear it, because I would love to hear what the real messages are that you're giving to one another. Because I know that just like you're telling me that there's a meeting in the men's room about, bitch assedness. I feel like it got to be another meeting where they just trying to give each other a playbook. Like, dude, this is what you do. This is how you get her. This how you get. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that shit is going on because like too many people doing the same thing. Oh, it got to be a meeting. It got to be a meeting. It got to be a Zoom meeting that
Well,
they having every Monday, because it's the same playbook. Like, so
I've
that's why
often
I was
mentioned,
interested in
I've
being,
mentioned YouTube content creators. I've always
in
mentioned
being in, because
BTS.
I would like to hear it. Because
You
let me
just
tell you,
made
we
me
go
think of
in on
something, but
each
I'm gonna
other.
hold that
Women go
story
in
for
on each
another
other.
time.
Exactly. Exactly,
I'm
brother.
sorry, say that one more time, Spirit.
And see, that's the thing. Like out in YouTube world, they having these conversations on a
Yeah,
regular
it's a
basis.
whole world on YouTube. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know.
But Facebook,
Girl.
we trying to catch
I
up
did
to
not
that,
know.
and me and her, we're trying to build this. It's a lot of guys. I just got on some of my boys, whatever, over this holiday break. Like, damn, y'all gotta come in. Like, y'all gotta come in. They see the stuff that's going on and they sitting back, whatever. That's how we grow, whatever. We gotta have these conversations. It's inevitable. We gotta have them. But in YouTube, they having these conversations on a regular basis.
Yes.
Y'all talk about guys sending women dick pics. Why they shouldn't? No, don't raise your
Why they
eyebrows and
shouldn't?
make eyes
Girl,
big. I'm
listen, I
serious. This
appreciate
guy
the dick
that
pic,
I've
but
never
that's
talked to
me.
before inboxed me. I said, "Can you send me some updated pictures?" He sent me a whole frontal
His
view,
collection.
and he was rocking the bush. I said, "Oh hell no!" I said, "Why did you send me that picture to begin with?" He's like, "Oh, I just wanted to show you what I got, what I'm
Oh
working with." I said, "I
God.
don't need to see that.
You
I
should have
need
been
your
more
fucking
specific.
bush." No.
He sent you his
I'm
collection,
Let
just
girl.
me
The
say
that's,
this.
collection.
It,
Was
that's
it?
out of
Did
it's
you
I
in
look
your
think the
at
men
it? I
doing
mean,
that
I
seriously,
looked
it's
at
in
Diamond.
it.
your best
Did you look at it?
it's in your best interest
He
not to
said, "Did
send
you
me
look
I
at
one.
it?"
looked at it.
I
Because
did
you're
I
look
looked
not
at
And
it.
at
when
it,
she
invested.
got
and
it,
I was
was it
like,
Looked at it.
pretty?
no.
See,
It's
that's
in
why
your
you would
better
like it.
interest.
Cause see, if it had been a pretty one, then it wouldn't have bothered you as much.
No, it still would have bothered me because that was the first time we ever had any back and forth
Mm,
conversation privately. And I was like, why are
mm.
you sending me that? I mean, at least, guys, if you're going to send something, don't, make it look pretty.
Did you save it?
Oh, I told him I was saving it so I could forward it to my friends so we can laugh at it.
I
Damn,
bet you
you
one of your
went at it
friends is
like
gonna jump
that?
on that. One of your
What?
friends is gonna jump on that.
No, none of my
Yeah,
friends, no,
Yeah,
girl, you don't
all
know
right.
what your
no.
friends doing behind them closed doors, but you came at him like
Yeah,
that. Why did you
exactly.
tell him you
Pretty
was gonna do
much.
that? Like, damn.
Huh?
I said, why'd you tell him you were gonna do that? Did y'all argue and shit? Like, wow, you went straight to me and
No.
my homegirls gonna laugh at your dick pic?
No, I just told him that, so hopefully he didn't do that to other women.
Girl, listen, those that do that's sending you a picture on that first communication, girl, they got a whole collection. He didn't just take that picture to send it to you.
yeah.
And then
It's
he
a
was like,
whole
"Oh, I'm
it's a whole
sorry."
library.
I said, "You're sorry." I said,
It's
"Don't
a whole
send
library.
girls pictures like that. What do I look like?"
But the
You
men
gotta
that
Mm-mm.
figure it out. That was a test.
no, just I'm gonna tell you the men that
It
do
was
that.
inappropriate. Was it was? Damn, this wine got me twisted now. inappropriate. That's what it was.
But they don't care.
See,
So
we just
they
need to have a night out with some girls and some wine, and
What that's gonna do?
yeah, but the guys that do it, they don't care.
Don't you worry about what that's gonna do, Dave. You let Dave worry about
Pretty
that.
much. You would love to be a
Worry
fly on the
about
wall in one of those kind of ciphers.
Well, y'all want to come for me? I want to read Marcia comment. She
wait,
said,
you didn't even answer my question. Do you
"What's
guys
your
tell
question?"
other men that you shouldn't do that?
They're going to do that anyway. They don't care.
In
That
other
wasn't
words,
my
no,
question.
they never say that.
We could.
Oh, my scalp hurt so bad. Oh my God, I just got these braids done. I'm sorry, I had to let it out. Oh my
Let me put
God.
it to you like this. That's the equivalent of a female telling another female not to wear a low-cut shirt.
But we
I
will
don't
tell
think
them
that
that if
equates to the
Yeah, we
same
tell them
thing.
because
No,
we need to be
but what
able to
I'm
let you know.
saying,
We
Most
need to be able to
definitely
let you know
do.
if they had a friend. Like you need a friend to
Certain
tell you that
things
you need
just
to.
can't.
Now,
Certain
whether
things you
they
just
listen
can't
to us or
wear.
not, we don't care. We gonna say it. We gonna let them know. But baby,
but,
you
but
shouldn't do
what I'm
that.
saying
We
is,
we
Because
gonna
one
let
of
them
my
know.
girlfriends is not leaving my house looking raggedy and looking
but no,
trashy.
no,
Not with
that's not what
me,
I'm saying.
Yeah, I
anyway.
ain't
Pretty
checking
much,
for that
because
one.
I'm
I
not
ain't
trying to
checking
be
for
on
that
that
one.
birds of a feather flock together. Just because you out there on that stuff don't mean that I'm out there on there. And I don't want people thinking that I'm out there in the same thing that
Right?
you're doing.
Man, a woman will stop you in the bathroom and be like, "Baby, your tag is hanging out. You got toilet
I
paper
don't trash
I
stain
yourself.
think I
But
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
you
disagree.
know,
tell
here's
you,
the
I've
thing
done that
though.
before.
Most
I
men
Your
think I
are out. Most
eyeliner
disagree.
is
men are not
running. Your
sharing
I
with
know I
eyeliner
other
is
men.
running.
disagree.
They're sending
I
dick
know
pics.
I disagree with that. I know I disagree with it. But I want to read Marcia comment, then I want to tell you why I disagree with that. She said, as the saying goes, you teach people how to treat you. There should always be boundaries no matter what type of relationship one chooses to have with someone.
Absolutely.
But we want to move past that. People, we talked about this. We always talk, like I said, these conversations are evolving. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. We have some dishonest friends in our camp. They're not always saying what they should be saying. So y'all saying, "Oh, I'll tell my girlfriend this and that." Nah, nobody ain't telling their friend. You look stank a dank with that shit on, or whatever the case is,
Uh,
or
you
you
can
don't look
call
right.
mine.
I
Oh,
do.
darling.
I do.
Nobody,
Oh,
because
I
we
do.
darling.
wouldn't
I do.
see
I
this.
do.
Yes.
We wouldn't have
I
these
do. I
meetings
do. I
that we
do.
have. We
I
wouldn't
do. I
see
do.
the
I
Yeah.
do.
meetings that we
Listen.
have if somebody checked
Listen.
them, whatever, on this shit, whatever. Stop
Listen, we
playing with me.
already said
Told you about playing with
whether
me.
they take our advice or not, we can't control whether they take our advice, but you better believe that something is said. If we're in a
Mm-hmm.
group together and somebody is just looking ridiculous, we got to say something like, "You're not gonna put nothing else on, like you mean look like that." Like that, we got to say something. Now, whether they take that advice and go change or not, that's on them. We can't tie them up and make them go put something on different. But
No.
just know that
So,
you're not standing. I'm not standing with you at the club.
But
Like
you know
so
what,
what I
that's not
David?
think,
gonna happen.
Sometimes you'll see a group of women and they all dress raggedy. Every last single one of them in the group all got on a
Every last
dress
one of them.
that's
So
too
they wouldn't know.
small.
That's like the
Everybody
blind leading the
tatas
blind.
is
They don't
hanging
know
out.
what look
Exactly. You
bad.
And
can't say
Don't
that
none
to
of them
them.
got
you're
no
not
damn.
gonna
Because
say
they
anything
all
to each
tall.
other
Don't none of them
because
got no damn
they
taste.
all look alike. They all bought the same $5 dress and they
$5
doing that.
dress.
They
But
went
grown
together,
grown
girl,
ass
and the
women,
matching flip
we're
flops
not
and
we don't do
the
that
earrings
shit.
and stuff.
I
Yeah.
have rolled up on women walking through the mall and been like, your bra strap is hanging out. But as far as me and my
Dirty,
best friend
dirty
go,
bra strap, right? Dirty
I'm
bra
just
strap,
saying,
right?
if me and my best friend, she will tell me in a heartbeat, like, nah, because I will tell her, no, no,
If you're
no.
supposed to be my friend and you don't
Yeah,
tell me, then I got a problem.
Yeah, I
yeah,
Like,
got a
how is you my
problem.
friend?
How can I trust you if you won't tell me the truth?
yeah.
My best
Right.
friends will tell you I'm that type of person that if they want the honest to God's truth, then
Ask
they'll
me.
ask me. And I tell
Right.
them all the time, if you want somebody to lie to you, go call so and so. But if you want the truth, then come ask me. But
Yeah,
understand that I'm straight with no chaser. It is
yeah.
what
You
it
My
can't be
is.
God.
I
sending
call it
your
See,
how I
little
see
girl
Well,
out
it.
there in the
listen,
Sometimes
world
they
looking
I'm
get
a
for
mad.
firm
you.
believer.
Sometimes they be
Listen,
like, yo, I respect
I'm a
it. It is
firm
what it
Yeah.
is. It's a roll of the
I'm a
dice.
firm believer. I'm a firm believer in that the facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. And so
Yep.
that not yours, not mine, not nobody. And the truth is not always pretty. So I could just try to be while I tell it to you, but
I'm not
like
fixing to let my
sometimes the
man
truth gonna
roll
hurt.
about the house with me
And
looking
that's
any
just
old
what it
type of
is. And
way.
I get hurt by the truth just like other people do. But
Thank
shit, I
you.
can take it. I
Yeah.
was built by
Mhm.
that shit.
God
Me, I
no.
look at that as a growth moment. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm looking to see if there's a moment for me to grow. If it ain't, then I roll that shit rolls off my back. If it is, then I take that moment and I take that step. But the facts don't give a fuck about your feelings. So when somebody is like, "Well, you said this," but that's why, like I said in the beginning, me and Herb, we had a thing. I had to get on his vibe with how he delivers some shit because again, he observing that rule. The facts don't care.
True that. I mean,
You know,
Yep.
this is
that's
just
but that
what
I
it
really
is.
feel like
So
that's
yeah,
some
I take
grown
my book
women
from
shit.
dudes all the
We are
time.
not fixing to let our friends go out looking like that and or our man, because I done said it too many times. You ain't leaving the house with me looking all type of way. So I'm
Ugly
definitely not
Christmas
gonna let
sweater,
my
right?
best friend. I'm just saying, you know.
And Frederick is right. Frederick said that some people take telling the truth as disrespect.
Yeah,
They do. They
They
absolutely
do.
do.
yeah,
And another thing that could also be a delivery thing. Because like I said, the mailman can bring you $1 million check, but you don't want him to bash you in the face
right,
with that shit. Like, damn. So it's like
right.
sometimes I think that another part of growing up is your delivery and knowing how to effectively communicate it. Now, some people, their agenda is to upset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's their
Yeah.
agenda. And so you just gotta go with that. Then your job becomes not to let that shit get up under your skin.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to effectively communicate with somebody and it's not about who's right and who's wrong, then you find how it is that you guys can understand one another because you can learn from anybody. Like you really
And
can.
if you keep lying to people, they think
Yeah,
eventually,
if you're a liar, like
Everything's
don't nobody want to
okay.
even talk to you. Don't
right.
nobody
Why
talk
would
to
you
you if you're
keep
a
telling
liar.
somebody, they're great in bed and they're really not, or they're
No,
doing something you
no.
don't
I
like?
don't give no more
But it's
sympathy
if
screws.
you keep
Nope.
telling
That stopped
somebody,
in my
oh,
20s too.
do you like this hat? Do you like this hat? And you keep saying, yeah, I like it, and he keeps wearing it because he thinks, my baby like it's just, you don't have to say, oh, that shit is just so whack that it's whack, but you could,
You can just say, well, no,
yeah,
I
you
would
don't have
rather
to
this
punch
one.
I'd be
him in the
like, I
face with it.
prefer another hat
I
on
would
you.
prefer this one.
Yeah,
Pick another hat. You can be
yeah.
honest. There's
I
a
would say
way
that doesn't
to
look
say
right with that
things.
outfit. Why don't you try a
Yeah,
different
You
one?
you
know,
don't have to be
see
mean about
me.
it, but there ain't no point in lying these days. I mean, it's just, yeah, no.
What you mean? There ain't no lying in these days.
No, I
There's
said
no
there is no
point.
point in lying in
Oh,
these days. I mean, why? But again,
Well,
like I
people
said,
lie
when
because
I
they're
was
afraid that you
younger,
because they know that they full of shit and that you're not gonna like them if
listen,
they don't lie. That's
listen,
why.
ladies.
Me, I
I
just
know
look.
y'all
You got.
saying.
What you see is what you get. So
I,
But I
I
work
know
on being
y'all
a good
saying.
person.
I know y'all saying, we grown, we do this, we tell our friends this and that. But some people try to gain that competitive edge, and you say just because they look at stank or whatever the case is, I ain't gonna even tell them. I'm out to try to get mine, and I think that's the
Well, yeah,
philosophy
but
of
well, the
things.
first thing is it's chicks out there to do that, but again, that's the minority. You have chicks that are out there that are so self conscious that they will let their friends go. That they always say that there's a good looking one in the group, the one that's looking all good, while the others is looking all jacked up. So you got that chick that's really still self confidence because if she really thought she looked all that good, go take your ass in a room full of other dimes, bitch. Like me, I don't. No woman is my competition. I'm just looking how I'm looking. I'm not even getting dressed thinking about what you doing, what you gonna wear, what you got going on. I'm
right,
getting in my zone. I'm putting my fucking cape
right.
on. Bitch, you need to get your cape. Shit, we be superheroes together. It's not my fault that your fishnets is fishy. Like that ain't got nothing to do with me. So, a lot of times with women, there are some situations, there's a lot of situations where women will be in competition. So, yeah, those types of women will allow their friends to go out looking any kind of way because they figure, hey, well, that gives me a leg up. But a leg up on what? Anybody that's coming to your trashy friend that you trying to get to, like, come on, like that's you in the same pool. So no matter what the bait is, the same fish is coming at it.
Listen,
And I
Like
think
that's a
that's where
dumbass
you
strategy.
separate. I
listen.
think that's where you separate grown women from,
You
everybody
Dumbasses.
else. Because
Some
listen.
we don't do that shit. We
We
don't do
know
that.
we know that most of us, like in the job industry, we competing for the same jobs. So many of you are competing for the same men. So
I'm not
trying
competing
to
for nobody.
I was about to say it
Period.
ain't
Pretty
me.
much.
Me
That's
either.
first
I'm
that's
not in a
first mind
competition
trip.
with anybody over anyone. Let's get that
That's
straight
first
right
mind
now.
trip. But what he's
really,
saying is
Not
that a
at
lot we
all.
know that a lot of women are, and in their 20s is
yeah,
when that
y'all are.
starts. It starts in their 20s, and now the
In
ones
his
that grow
30s,
up,
40s, 50s, and
the ones
60s.
that grow up, yeah, let me finish. The ones that grow up, that stage stops at the mid 30s because women.
Do you feel at your age, David? Do you feel like you're competing for the same woman?
No, I'm gonna be who I am and gonna be comfortable with what
And
I
that's
do.
exactly how
What I
women
do,
our
whatever.
age feel too. We're not
Exactly. That's
competing
how
for
women see
shit.
it.
Yeah, we're not competing for anything either. Please, we know how to sift through the riffraff. We're not competing for
No, because
anything.
you don't, Rebecca. You don't give tests, so you don't know how to really sift through it.
Oh, I know how to sift through, baby. I'm good. I'm I'm good over here, and everything. My table is full. When I come to the table, I leave nothing uncovered. Please believe that. There's nothing a man can't ask me that I can't give a positive answer to. I'm good over here.
Okay.
So trust and believe.
There
I
is
do
a
my vetting
there
process.
there is a difference in people who are not comfortable in their own skin. When you're not comfortable in your own skin, you do some things that I mean that you feel like you I guess must do. So there's a difference in that. Once you're comfortable in who you are and you know who you are, it's not necessary for you to travel down that road. Period.
Thank you.
But how
Yeah,
many people
y'all keep getting that shit confused, and yeah, I'm not
see
dumb
see
by no
see the
stretch of the imagination. I'm not desperate. I'm not lonely. I know exactly what the fuck I'm doing, and whatever it is I want, if I want it bad enough, trust and believe Rebecca's gonna have it.
see the
So
see the thing that y'all getting confused. We got this small panel right here, six. There's a lot of people who struggle through this, and they may be listening, and it may get shared, and they may be watching it. That they might not be at that state. This is
that's
why
fine.
this stuff is thrown out there. That this isn't for the people. That's always we just throwing out different perspectives, whatever the case is. So there's always going to be some people that struggle with this. Whether they take heed to any of this, you never know. You never know. No one ever admits like, yeah, I'm down on my luck. I decided to read this book and I'm getting better. Like Anita was saying, she started reading books. But trust me, we all have those moments that we say, damn, how can I improve? Let me shadow this person. Let me read this person. Let me watch this video and all this stuff to motivate you. Because we
That's how
all
I
have
people get caught up in some of them emotional affairs.
yeah, we have our
I
moments.
think I'm pretty. I'm think I'm like the first to say if I'm having, especially with this panel of men and women. I think a couple of weeks ago when I was on here talking about my son and the struggle that I'm having with him, um, I have no problems as asking for help. I just as far as relationships go, I'm fine. Like she said, you have to be happy with yourself, and I'm at a point in my life that I'm very confident in who I am and what I can do and what I can't do when it comes to a relationship and what I want. And yeah, nobody's perfect, and hopefully people get something from this, but stop playing with me about yeah, and because I'm looking directly into your eyes.
Look at my
So
eyes, Rebecca.
yeah,
Look at my eyes. I ain't going nowhere.
stop playing with me. It's just
But that's
I'm
what
just
we're trying
saying,
to
I
do,
know
though. We
we're talking about different women and different stages of
No,
maturity and life and all of
see,
that, but we
see,
we ain't none of them women.
see, yeah,
We're in our own class.
you try to pull like me and Herb got these random ass ragamuffin ass chicks, whatever that we're talking about. But it's
I
not always
mean,
the case.
They
it's
all
got to
think
be
they
some
sound
personal
like
experiences or some situations that you've seen somebody else go through. I mean, where do you get it from? It don't
Thank
just
you.
come out of your eye. It just
I'm
doesn't come
not
out of
the
thin
only
air.
one that's preaching about this.
Listen. No, my personnel. I get stuff from multiple sources, whatever, and I post it. Some people inbox me and say, "Post this scenario." So this stuff is not. It's not toward a certain demographic of people. People go through
Seems
this
to be
stuff.
geared that way.
Well, that's how y'all take it, whatever. Just answer the
Oh,
goddamn
cut that out.
Dude, all of
Cut that
your
out. We
questions of the day and titles of the day are always some raggedy shit about
just like you know what? Just like in the damn Bible, some raggedy shit that y'all follow or whatever. But it's just modern day terms, whatever. Let stuff go on. That's all I can say.
Well, that was disrespectful.
Yeah, they weren't
Hey.
disrespectful. It wasn't.
No, I'm saying to you that was a disrespectful statement for all
talk
the people
about
who
you
believe
talking
in the
about the
Bible.
Bible.
Right, that was disrespectful as I don't know what.
Okay. Okay, now y'all can come at me like you come at her. Like I said, same situation that may happen in the Bible, that's happen in modern day terms that y'all live through, that's going on today. So why is it disrespectful?
I'm just
Because
saying.
it sounded, wait a minute, wait. It sounded like you just took a leak on everybody who might live by the Bible and believe the things that they say and live that life. It sounded like you just whipped out your Peter whacker and took a pee on it.
Well, that's why I call myself the controversial counselor. Maybe I have. Maybe I took a shot at them. Now what?
I'm just saying, if they not here to defend them, I mean,
No,
because
you can come on here. This is open. Defend yourself. I post up all day long. Defend yourself. Defend yourself.
that is not the point. It wasn't, I didn't even say it was about me to begin with. I said for all the people who believe in it and live by it, you whipped out your Peter whacker and you took a leak on their lifestyle because you don't agree with it. And that's not right either.
Okay.
I'm just make a topic that's really for once I would just like to see a title, something positive.
See,
about
and that's
women.
the thing, and that's
I would like to see something that's not geared towards women and how we allegedly, do all this jacked up ass shit.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't mind the controversial topics, but I mean, you could.
What about some of the controversial
you
shit that
could throw
men do?
something in there for us that really out
Yeah,
here
do
trying
any of
to
y'all
do
have
some
my?
shit the right
If
way.
any of y'all have my book, if any of y'all have my book, nope.
No, I don't have it.
Okay, so that's the first thing. Whatever.
I'm talking about honeydew.
What's the first thing? What do you mean?
If you don't
We
have
need some clarifying questions, I think.
if you don't have my book, then you don't understand where I'm coming from. Herb's been a part of this program all along, just opening up dialogue.
But isn't what that platform is for? Isn't that what this platform is for? To bring understanding? Because you said understanding occurs in a gray area. So is it necessary for everybody to run out and get your book so that you can bring understanding on this platform we're speaking on right now?
That's what you get.
Yeah, y'all can't cross me over because y'all can't back me up on the road, whatever. The simple fact is, well,
what's the simple
I
fact?
just simply said it would be nice if you just posted a positive topic. If it's supposed to be an open dialogue about a great
So what you want me? Some Cinderella shit?
Okay, you being cynical
That's
now.
what you call
I refuse to talk to
masculinity
you
right
if you're gonna
there.
be cynical, because you don't have to do that. I have no problems praising a black man, especially a good one. And
So some situations are positive. It depends on the person's who's looking at it, who's looking at the situation. It could be something that start off negative. You say, I understand this is a positive situation. No, I'm never gonna write. I'm never gonna post like, oh, such and such. I can't even come up with this because I know how the world is, whatever. I know how the world is. And the reason why I made the reference to the Bible, because a lot of that shit is negative in there, but it's used as a teaching
That's your
tool.
opinion, though. But
It's
that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
You
It's
don't
how
see
you use it.
anything good in
Wait a
women?
minute.
Y'all
It's
never
the
let me finish like her
application
said.
of what's.
You never let me.
It's the app.
It's a
Go ahead. I'm
teaching
sorry.
tool.
You're
It's
right.
a
You're right.
teaching
I'm
tool.
sorry.
It's a teaching
I'm sorry.
tool. Most people learn from negative situations how to make it positive. You don't when you present a situation and it's always the situation is rosy. What do you learn from that? What do you learn from somebody who's oh they got 100% on the test? Like I'm gonna teach y'all on that. You
You
learn
can learn
from
how to study.
gee.
I'm just, I was just saying it
Wait
would
a
be
minute.
nice
Wait a minute.
if you
Just
had
so I can
if
get
you
an
had a positive
understanding.
scenario. It don't have to be. I was just saying
Just so
that.
I can get an understanding, are you saying that the only thing that the world is full of is negativity, and the only way that you learn is through negative experiences? Is that what you were saying? I'm asking.
We already know the world is full of a lot of negativity going on. But I said most people learn from negative situations and turn them into positives.
So let me ask you this question. So for the positive situations you learn from, do you not put those in your bank too?
Yeah, learn from them. But usually, the person who presented those situations that was positive, they started off like this is it was some type of level of evolving, whatever, and that's how you got to a positive situation. You got to learn how to lose. You learn how to lose before you win. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I agree with that statement, but I'm gonna let you have it.
Yeah, okay, okay. See, because me and you got a different mindset. I'm from a sports mindset, a sports leadership type mindset, and I understand that. Like, you just don't automatically become a winner. You're gonna take failures in life before you become a winner.
I'm gonna say this
You're gonna fail
again.
in relationships. You're gonna fail in
Wait a minute. I'm
relationships
gonna say
before you become a winner. You don't just automatically like, I get this, and now we walked off into the sunset.
this again. I was a three-sport athlete. I coached a baseball team that was a
And you
winning
win
team.
every game, right? You win every game, right? You win every
That's not
game,
what
right?
I said. That is not what I said. I said I don't view the entire world as a totally negative place. There are positive things, there are happy things, and there are things that I learned from that stick with me because it was a positively reinforced message.
You're taking it the wrong way, G.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I was just saying it would be nice if one of the topics were completely positive, but
Well,
it
well,
don't
well,
have to be.
Rebecca, sweetheart, send me a positive thing. I'll post it. I don't discriminate. People post this. I don't
Y'all
discriminate.
get on my last nerve.
Read
The last one that I
it to
have,
me
the two of y'all just grind on it. Why? Why must it be that way? Why?
because you love us.
I do. I do.
Herb, you was about
But
to say something.
there are some people that have
Just a
nothing
tip.
but positive experiences, and you know,
It is. It is. Don't think of David the Downer. I'm just saying we're people with the teaching tools.
yeah,
The teaching
I
tools,
feel you.
whatever. And that's the reference I'm coming from. I mean, who lives a perfect situation in our reality?
Not too many people.
So that's where we start from. That's
Not
where we
too many
start from.
people.
So when you have those people talk like, "Oh, everything is perfect," or "I've been through that," you kind of skeptical of them.
Anybody who
I
says
don't think
everything
that
is perfect
anybody,
is telling a whole lie, and they
right.
lying to themselves first.
I don't think that there's anybody on this panel who would say that they live a perfect life or that they are perfect.
Shit,
I'm
I
just saying,
wish.
what I was saying was that there are positive situations that you can take and use and grow from. And that I don't, they say there are some people who see the glass as half empty and some who see it half full. So that's where the thing comes in at. But I don't think there's anybody sitting here who's perfect, including myself. Most of all myself.
Dietrich said in the
Your
Bible, they
daughter's
drink,
like, yo,
have
still.
sex with daughters, lie, kill, and steal. David, I got you.
Yeah, I
That
need
was
a
just
nap.
so.
It's
That
just
was so
wine.
wrong.
Now we can have this conversation about the Bible, but I don't think I want to do that today.
No, we're not
I
gonna
don't
have
want
it.
to do
Let's
that
not do that today.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
probably
let's
need
not.
to get ready to close it out. We approaching 3 hours on
Yeah,
this.
let's not do that today.
Get out.
We trying to run now.
Yeah, and I don't have no problem with it, but I'm just trying to give y'all a point of reference that where I come from. I want the gray area, as Herb always talk about. There's a gray area that we need to talk
Right.
about. And so therefore, you might look at the situations as imperfect. Or why he always talking about negative situations and all that stuff. And the reason why I brought in religion and church, because that's the same damn thing pastor come up and talk about these certain situations when he's schooling y'all in church, whatever about. No matter what institution you go to, they talk about situations that you learn from.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think the gray area would be more of the extreme? I mean, we can talk about the negative because that's probably the majority. I would think the gray area would be the people who fall on the outside of that. The people who are sailing along and everything is, not perfect, but you know, wouldn't you think that's the gray area?
Um,
I was just here. I'm
The
just saying
gray,
there's
the
so
gray
much
area,
negative.
the gray area is things where there is no complete agreement.
Okay.
so let me ask y'all this. Let me ask y'all this from the feedback y'all get, and I know y'all love this platform, so I'm not gonna. I'm not even taking it personal. There's some reason that gravitates y'all toward these conversations. So whether
Because they need
Rebecca
to be
say,
mad.
huh? What you say?
They need to be mad.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think I
And
gravitate
it's
because
always
because the topic seems so negative and so I can't even say foreign to me because when I was younger I made some poor choices and you know I'm doing right now. I think I really gravitate because I'm just like, damn, every topic is about some woman doing something stupid.
That's not true
Or
though.
some
What
I
was
can't
last week's
I mean if
conversation
you go down the
about?
list and read all of your scenarios,
what is
it
it?
it
Why parents fight their teenage children?
it's
Am I
always
mistaken?
something just so and I'm that is really why I come. I think I'm mostly here to defend those of us who are really we work hard and grind every day as single women, married women to represent the rest of us, to do the right thing, to work hard, to pay bills, to be good to our spouse, to raise our children right, to manage our money, all of those positive things. And I feel a lot of times that I'm here trying to defend those women and those men too, because I'm not trying to be one-sided, but it just seems like the topics are always, you know, he's dating a white woman and she don't even like black people,
Is
which
that
I
is
think
that real?
I'm
Is that
just
real?
like,
Is that shit real?
yes, it is very
Okay.
real. It
Okay.
is very real.
So
I'll never
everything, all
deny
of this
that the
stuff is
situations
relative
aren't real. I'm
because
not
I
saying
didn't
the
know that was
situations
real,
aren't real,
actually.
David. I was just looking for a little rainbow.
I know. Yeah,
My bad.
Rebecca, we got this. We
I'm
cool.
just
We
just
gonna
looking
go
for a
back and
little
forth.
rainbow.
We gonna, but that's the whole point of it. And y'all say, oh, it's all about women. No, it's situations with men and all that stuff. This is stuff that need to be talked about. Most of you talk about this stuff with people that you know, and you get poor advice, and you get the same shit year after year, time after time. But to be on a panel with different people who you don't know, it's a little different. Do y'all disagree or agree?
I
I agree.
agree.
I'm gonna need
I agree.
Carlos to go join Dietrich in the corner. Thank you.
Of course you're gonna say that because you don't like what they're saying. You want them to because they're coming to you with some true stuff.
That is not true. Nobody's about to Me Too anybody up in here or Susan B.
Okay.
I don't like half of the shit that. Well, actually,
Bobby is so damn
don't like
extreme.
anything that Herb says, but I don't. I don't. I can disagree about it because I really don't. Our views really don't line up like that. And I really do try to respect his point of view. It rubs me the wrong way because to me, it just seems like he encompasses all women and all those bad behaviors or those bad situations, which I don't like, but I digress. But again, it would just be nice if, I can talk about a good black man. I don't have a problem talking about that if that were a question, or a good black woman, because we are out here. Y'all have 4 of us on your panel right now, and I'm assuming I'm looking at 2 on the panel right now, one with a jaded point of view, but okay. But
Right.
I know at heart that if I were living in Niagara Falls and I needed something, he would be there. I know if my walk was unshoveled, he'd be out there shoveling it. So I know he's a wonderful person. I just, we do us when we do us. So I'm just, it would be nice if those discussions were had too, because you can have a conversation about negative things all damn day long. Tell you the truth, it would be nice to have one of those conversations about black men and black women who are really doing wonderful things. And I do appreciate this panel. I don't want you to think that I don't, because I absolutely
I'm not taking offense to it, but
I don't want you to be. So.
No, I'm not. But those couples or whatever, I'm sure if you got into the insides of them, they'll tell you the negative things that they went through.
Oh
We
yeah.
try to talk about stuff on the lower level for people just to open up your eyes. These are certain things you have to look for. Even we was talking about the dating stuff and is it a test or whatever. These are things because trust me, if some people get jammed the hell up in situations that they invite people into their homes, they kill the kids, they do whatever the case is.
Jesus, well, it's true. They do kill the kids. You right.
Yeah. So you have to
That's why
have
you gotta ask them questions and you gotta observe people. You can't just take, you can't always take a person at their word. And sometimes you can't even take, you can't even believe what you see because some people are just adept at lying and deception.
so there's a point, there's a reason for this. It's not like, oh, them 2 jackasses is on here again.
Nah, I never think
Nah,
that.
never that. Never that.
I never think that.
Now wait a
I
minute. In
never
all
think that.
fairness to you all, and neither one of us women on this panel are saying that you guys are bad guys or that
Not
you're not
even
Not at
intelligent
all.
or that
I
anything
enjoy
that you
coming
say
in here and getting a
is
male
not valid.
perspective on a lot of different things. It's refreshing.
Yes,
It's
it is.
refreshing
Right, that's what
to
I'm
come
saying.
on
So
and to
don't get us
hear.
wrong.
It's refreshing to come on and hear another woman's perspective outside of my own. Her experiences of what she's gone through. It's just something different. Something I haven't had in a long time.
Absolutely.
And that's the reason why y'all don't think every time I invite y'all and y'all like, oh, thanks for no, yeah, welcome every time. This is a conversation, and I just hope other people say, man, they talk about some serious stuff. They going at it. This isn't no fake ass shit. Whatever that they talking about, they disagreeing. They going at it. And
Not with the 2 of y'all.
So I'm going to
Y'all
have
ain't
to.
even alike. That's the thing that gets me. Y'all just don't even seem to be anything alike at all. Herb is so damn unique that it's something else, but y'all aren't alike. But yes, I agree with her. I love being on here and listening to the both of y'all speak, and all the ladies as well. It, like her, it gives me a different point of view. We have a married woman, we have some forever single women, You know, we have some divorced women. We have women of different colors, and so I love all of that. And even though I don't agree a lot of the time, um, I absolutely can appreciate the fact that he will not change his mind. I don't give a damn what I say, that he won't change his mind, you know, about anything. And I can respect that too. So, you know, keep
Right.
it
Got
I'm
going.
gonna have to
Just give me
sign
a
off now.
rainbow. Just give me a rainbow. Just give me one
what
rainbow.
this is the one thing people. Rebecca already, she knows and she understands this intrinsically. You have to be weary of an individual who is easily persuaded to change their mind, because the same way you convince them, somebody else can. When you're dealing with somebody who's steadfast in what they believe, you know that you can come to them with something and they're going to have a position, an opinion that may run contrary to what it is that you like, but you know they are going to stand on a set of principles. And this is what I always tell people. I don't do it to be a hard ass or an asshole. That's who I am. I am cut from a different cloth. There are very few people who have met me and said, you know what, I've met people like him before, because like she said, I'm unique, but I come from a different set of circumstances and situations. So it's been my past that has literally cultivated me into the person I am. So I don't always see ethnicity. I see behaviors within certain ethnicities. Like there's one time that was when me and my real good boy, we first got our apartment together. I moved in with him because he already had two apartments, and I picked up the phone. I said hello. The individual was like, "Oh, I got the wrong number." I'm like, okay. Phone rang back about 30 seconds ago. I picked it up. Hello. The individual said, "Is this her?" I said, "Yes." The individual said, "You answer the phone like a white person." Now, I don't take offense to that. I understand the connotation behind that. When we answer the phone, I'm speaking primarily of Native Black Americans, we don't hear the hello. We hear, yo, what's up? Something of that nature.
Who this?
Yeah. So I understand that, and I don't take offense to it. The same way I try and get people to understand that when somebody makes a statement, if it doesn't directly apply to you, don't let it move you. Just like for years, Black men have heard the chalk and trope that we ain't shit. And I'm going to reference this Carlos Muhammad's book. You ain't shit. Your daddy ain't shit. You just like him. I've never taken offense to it. My mother has never spoken like that about my father, regardless of what her and his situation was. And it's always been that. It's her and his situation. Just like I hear Black men are deadbeat dads and this. I don't have any kids. So when I hear that statement, it doesn't bother me because it doesn't reflect on me. Another case in point, I took a sex roles class out at N-Trip. Now, me and my man, we were the only two Black people in there, never mind Black men.
What class?
Sex roles at N-Trip. This is some years ago. So when a point came up and it was along gender lines, and more particularly ethnic gender lines, and it had something negative to do with Black men, they will look at us, and him and I will look at each other like, why y'all looking at us? They said, well, we said we can't tell you about that because we don't engage in that type of behavior. So all of that applies when we're talking about these generalities. If it doesn't apply to you, don't take offense to it. We want to get this stuff out from the gray area so we can put it on the table, sort of like what happened at the Capitol. Now, everybody knows that this country has a serious issue along class, Democrats and Republicans, ageism, classism, income. We can no longer go back to the way we were, but that's a good thing because now we know where people stand. We have people trying to crucify each other, whether you're Democrats, independents, liberals, liberal or Republican. Dave and I have been talking about this last year, almost since June, is what are we going to do to move forward? What are we going to do to ensure that the individual that's living next to us has what they need, regardless of what their ethnicity is? Because the apartment building to my left is empty. But I have an older gentleman living next to me that every time I go out and shovel, I shovel his walk because I know he has a nailing back. The older black woman that lives 2 doors down to me, I shovel in front of her walkway. I shovel all the way down because that's the type of neighbor I am, regardless of who's living next to me. I keep asking ourselves, when as we are as Americans, we're going to extend some courtesy to some people just because they live around us. Because if you're not doing anything to enable your neighbor,
Never.
then when it falls into dissension and chaos, the first person you need to look at is yourself and say, what am I doing to better where I live at? The immediate area. Just like I said. And I said this long before everything was going to be coming to fruition. I said, the people who are going to be hurt most by the lockdowns and the pandemic are single women with children because they make up the bulk of these jobs that are being impacted. And I said that if I was a single man and I had a woman who had a child, the first thing I would do is pick up the phone and say, look, this is what we're going to do. Let's put our BS aside and let's get together for the betterment of these kids. It's not about us anymore. It's about these kids and how we're going to keep these kids fed, a roof over their head. David and I have talked about the dangers of having split homes. We talk about
why not do all that before you get to money?
Well, because people aren't thinking that way. They're thinking with the lawyers first. If we have a kid, then we'll deal with it then. I'm only talking about what I would have done if I were in that situation. I'm not in that situation. So the first thing people are going to look at me and say, well, what do you care? You don't have kids. That was the same talking trope I heard when I ran for the school board. You don't have any kids, so why do you care? Why are you in there?
As far as they're concerned, you're not invested if your child isn't in that position.
Which is my point.
That their children are.
Well, but that's my point. We have too many people who are trying to put somebody in the box that they think they should be in when they should leave that individual alone. If that individual is trying to help, then it should be your duty, to assist them in helping you. It's just like Frederick Douglass said, I will work with anybody to do the right thing and nobody to do the wrong thing. Far too often we have people working against each other just because somebody thinks that individual doesn't belong.
But I mean, far too often we've also had people who promise, oh, if you vote me for school board, I'm going to do this for your child's education. I'm going to do that for your child's education. And then 9 times out of 10, they can't make good on their word. So it's like, yo, you can't sit here and tell me that you're doing this or you're running for the betterment of my child's future when everybody else before you said the same damn thing. Tell me something that I haven't heard already.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. When I ran, the only thing I guaranteed people was this. If you keep voting for what you have, you'll get what you have. That was my only promise. I never made any promise to anybody for anything else. I know better. I know how fickle the voting process is. Let me put it to you like this. When I ran, our school district was 96 out of 99. We had the same, up until then, we had the same school board almost intact for 15 years. Why would you not want change?
Because they became complacent on what to expect.
No, they were complacent. It's a lot of these people don't have anything else to choose from.
Who did the most complaining about you running?
Oh, quite a few. Most of the people that were in positions of power. And I'll put it to you plainly. They said when I entered, I was going to split the vote for the 2 people who were running on the same year that I was. They blamed me for their losses. They said I was going to split the vote. I know going into that election that I needed 1,000 people. I was going to have to bring at least 500 new people to the polls. In other words, people who had never voted in a school board election before. I was spot on. The person that won finished with 1,069 votes, and I think the other person finished with like 960 something votes. 1,000 would have put me right in second place, firmly in position to get that second seat.
Well, what was the demographic like back then?
10 years ago, still pretty much the same as what it is.
Well, what is it? I mean, are people of color voting in Niagara Falls?
Yes, but guess who they're voting for? They're voting for who the church tells them who to vote for.
Let me ask you this, Herb. Do you think, like, if you ran again, because you more out there and you got a bigger platform and stuff, do you think you would have a better chance of winning? Like if you ran again? No.
No, because of the things that I stood for. The same things that I stood for then, I stand for now. A lot of people are against the residency requirement. I'm not. Why would the city, who's already struggling economically, want to give money to somebody else who's going to live and take that money somewhere else? This city needs that money. If it's the old adage, if you want to have sex with me, first you got to kiss me. They want to bend us over, screw us, take our money and go somewhere else. If our money's good enough for you to draw a paycheck with, then we should be good enough to live among you. There are places in the city where you can live and not have to worry about the criminal element. That's the first thing that people talk about is the increased crime rate, and it's understandable. The last year has seen a spike in homicides and or murder and violent crime to that extent. Niagara Falls is often compared with cities that have twice the population and people that understand. The term just eluded me. Per capita crimes and statistics will understand how that is. Niagara Falls has a
population. Number one, ain't it? Ain't y'all number one now?
But that's my point. They're basing that on 100,000. So what they're saying is, if we were to add 50 more thousand people to the city, that all those things will double. The caveat they don't tell you is this: if we add 50,000 law-abiding, tax-paying, going to work, coming home, doing what they're supposed to do with their with their families, then that crime rate will drop like a rock. Nobody tells you that because they want to paint a narrative. It's just like the old adage: figures lie and liars figure.
How do you determine who's a law-abiding citizen? Because no offense, but
that's what I'm saying. And to reference that and to drive home that point, I go back to the mid-1960s when jobs were plentiful here and the city had a population of 106,000. There was virtually no violent crime. Why is that? Because people were going to work, doing what they were supposed to do with their families, and going home. You add in poverty, a declining tax base, and everything else, and the first thing that happens is your crime rate spikes. And who is the crime rate spiking among? The unemployed, the poorly educated, and those who have nothing else to do, which mainly hits at a couple different demographics and a very narrow age range. This is why education becomes important. The people who get an education and they go into college in this city, they leave, they never come back. There goes your brain drain. So all of those people who have positively
anywhere,
they're gone. People don't want to hear that because we have people who profit off of the poverty. As my man says, Ken Hamilton, he calls them poverty pimps.
I don't like that dude.
Huh?
I mean,
I don't like that dude.
I like it.
But this is my point. Take the person and leave that person out of it and listen to what they're telling you. Whether you like him or not, or you do.
No, I don't like his no, I don't.
But
people
that's what
don't vote in city elections. That's the problem. Trying to get people to vote on a local level is hard.
Well, and I've been saying that for years.
It is hard. It is hard.
Case in point, the last school board election we had, I think 4,500 people showed up to vote. 45 between 4,500 and 1,000. That is roughly about 20% of the electorate in the city.
People don't realize the vote that they're missing out on with their city elections. They don't realize the stuff that gets passed
right.
Because they don't come out and vote for the city election. Their taxes, whether or not your city is wet or dry. I mean, all types of good shit. They don't realize what they're missing out on because people don't deem y'all as very important anymore. They don't see the work.
The repercussions.
They
Yeah.
just don't, they don't see anything. They don't see the good or bad from city officials. They really just see them as figureheads, the mayor of the city. What do they really do? They just, and compared to the president or the governor, they just don't carry, those titles don't carry weight, but people don't realize that they're
They carry a
probably
lot
even
of weight
more
on the
important,
local level.
because those are the ones that really touch your life. Your city
Right.
elections is the stuff that really touch your life. You talking about where your kids go to school, how they get educated, your trash pickup, your city taxes, your property tax, the stuff that really affects your life. They don't realize that. And I'm like him, how come you're not running again? How come you decided that, you're not doing it? Those people that you talked to 15 years ago, or that you were trying to work for 15 years ago, they're either, some of them are probably parents now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I've always said that when I started, I said I had 2 times to serve, because on the school board, well, let me start like this. The city council is 4 years. School board is 5-year terms. I said, if I can't get done what I need to in 2 terms, I said, there's no need for me to be on this board, because obviously I'm ineffective. We have people that have been on there 3 and 4 terms. That's 20 years. I graduated high school in 1992. Literally, it will be 30 years next year. And things have gotten worse.
It's a
So
cushy job.
who do we look at and hold accountable for that? And people will say the school board. I would say yes. Second, first are the voters. But we have 3 blocks in this city that control 90% of the politics in the city.
I believe that.
People who are employed by the Board of Education, people who work at the hospital, and people who work for the city. Those are your 3 voting blocks. You control those voting blocks, you're almost assured to walk in. I rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because I was against certain things. One of them being the residency requirement. 2, I was part of the out party anyway, or the out crowd anyway. So I wasn't going to crack those necessary voting blocks that I needed to. And I was okay
when I was
with
living there was a lot of nepotism there.
Yes.
I don't know if it's still like that, but there
Oh, yeah.
was a lot going on.
They have a lot of that down here.
It was crazy
like
in Niagara Falls, though.
Yeah, it's like that everywhere you go. But that's starting to crack now because people are saying, okay, look, you're because we just had another tax raise on top of another garbage years ago. This is why I tell people at a certain point in time, we have to start looking at ourselves and say, if we won't change, then we need to vote to change. So everybody that's sitting here that's been a part of this, get them out. People will say, well, you're going to suffer from people that don't know what they're doing. Well, damn, how much better have we been doing with the people that know what they're doing?
Careful. We ended up with Trump. Gotta watch what you at. Gotta careful what you wish for.
I used to always say that Niagara Falls is a place where it's easy to be poor and still survive.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, because the cost of living there is so damn low
that
when I moved to Texas, and I knew how much I was going to make when I got down here, when I saw my rent for the very first time, I almost threw up, because I'm not joking. I was coming from a place where I was renting an entire house, a 2-story home, for $450 a month, to a 3-bedroom apartment for $1,100 a month. And I was like, I can't do this. And I've always thought that Niagara Falls is a place where it's hard to look down on somebody, because almost the person next to you is doing the same thing. Unless you're a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, like you said, working for the city, it's hard to get ahead there, because there ain't shit there no more.
Right.
There ain't no black businesses there at all, from what I could tell the last time I was there. Anything from 3rd Street or 10th Street to the Falls ain't even for us, ain't for nobody no more. It's all for tourists. And it just seems like they got all that open property. They not building no homes. Ain't nobody buying no homes. I could see how a person could be there and 10 years in with kids get stuck.
Well, and that's why I always That's why, particularly when I talk to my mentees, I tell them, I say, look, understand where you are in this city. You're an hour drive from a world-class city in Toronto. You're an hour flight from a world-renowned city in New York City. I said, but this right here, your primary education is what you need to get correct. I said, so that means getting good grades. Even if you don't like going to school, don't be disruptive. We're asking for them to play basketball, we ask them to maintain at least a B average, which is 80. That's not difficult if you go to school and you apply yourself. The one thing that we tell them above all is even if you're not a B student, don't get anybody pregnant. Don't get pregnant. If you achieve just that one thing, it changes your trajectory in life. So even if you go out and you work a job that's paying you $12, $13 an hour, if you have another roommate, y'all two can put your money together and still put some money on the side. And in 5 years, you can go out to an interim auction, buy a tax house, and you have a home. You have property. Now you have equity, and you start to build your credit. If you want to go to school and work part-time, you can do that. You go to school, get your bachelor's. Now you're in a whole different demographic. You can get a car, drive to Buffalo and work. You can go on to get your master's. You can go on to get your bachelor's. And if need be, you still have that land to which you can rent out to somebody, go live somewhere else. So now you build an income, and now you move to a different demographic, and you're putting your education to work for you so you can earn that $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. And now you have income coming back. So if you have somebody that you know that's struggling, you can say, hey, look, I understand you in a bad way. I'm a give you a lifeline. What I expect.
How do you get people to stay in this city?
See, the issue is when you talk about kids, they don't understand that concept. It's a hidden curriculum. This curriculum doesn't go with real life situations.
And they haven't lived long enough. I mean, they're thinking about the situation. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm a teacher, and my students' reality puts them in a mind frame that they can't think about their future because they're just trying to survive the damn day. They're just trying to survive the day. They're trying to get home without getting shot so that they can get back to school without getting shot, stabbed, or, some other crazy stuff before, and the thought of the future, like, shit, I'm trying to survive the day. I'm just trying to survive the day. And you're talking about years from now. I can't think about years from now because all I can think about is what I'm dealing with today. So it's like, if we can't fix the problems that we have today, there's no point in talking about a future because they're not listening.
Well, I understand what you're saying. And I'll give you a second, Dave. Hold on. I understand what you're saying. And in order for them to survive the day, you have to give them something to look forward to. Because if you don't give them anything to look forward to, then you put it in their mindset that the only thing they need to be concerned about is the next day.
Oh no, I tell my kids all the time, it ain't about where you started, it's where you want to be in the end.
Well, yeah.
Because hell, everybody's got a story, and I tell my kids all the time, don't let the way that I speak fool you. I'm from the hood, and I know what it's like. I've been in your shoes, but I had a desire to get the hell out of there. So I put the pedal to the metal so that I could move, and you need to do the same.
And where do you live now?
I live on the West Bank of New Orleans.
Oh, that's cool.
In
New Orleans, from New Jersey.
New Orleans, I believe, along with Mississippi, are one of the more impoverished states in the country. So yes, I understand that aspect, and when I tell these kids, because a lot of people look at me and they think I've always had it easy. I say, y'all don't have a clue. I said, y'all really don't. I said, I make it look easy because I do things behind the scenes that y'all don't see. Case in point, I don't own a car. That's a sacrifice. But I make it look easy because of the choices I've made. I made the choice to buy a house close to where I work so I wouldn't need a car. The grocery store is a 10-minute walk. I live near the bus lines. So all those things I do, I can substitute. If parents can't teach their kids the meaning of sacrifice and how it works for them, these kids will never learn those adult
parents don't don't know what it is to sacrifice. Hell, you can't teach somebody something that you don't know how to do yourself. I
Which is
spend a
my
lot of
point.
time trying to teach grown ass adults how to
No,
handle their own damn kids.
leave the adults alone. Don't waste. And I know this is gonna sound counterintuitive, but leave the adults alone. They've already lived their life. They've made their decisions. The kids are the ones whose development you need to arrest. And I'm misusing the term arrest. You need to arrest that particular line of development and get them into thinking differently. Because once you get the kids into thinking differently, they will behave differently. Just case in point, when I went into Lace Up Preparatory School dressed the way I was, guess who responded to me the most positively? It was the people who looked like me because they had never seen a black man come in there and conduct himself the way I did. So when I walked into a classroom, similar to what David said earlier, they, well, who are you? I'm just an individual. Go ahead and do what you do. They were interested in me. Why are you dressed like that? I said, because this is how you should dress going into a business doing this. It's exposure counts for so much, but we don't really think it does. So that's why I took $1,500 out of my pocket when I was unemployed to take our basketball team out to Pennsylvania. Because they need to see how the other portion of the world lives. Everything isn't dilapidated where you're going to go. Everything isn't boarded up. Everything isn't gunshots and snow. You can go a place where there's sunshine, green grass, you hear the birds and the sea, but you have to work to get that. This is the road that we have to pave in front of them. And then we have to embed it in their minds that they can achieve. A lot of these kids don't think they can achieve. And that was one of the messages that our superintendents used to put out, was that we can't expect these kids to do as well as the kids in Newport. Why not? It was offensive to me.
Let me, do your students, do you think that you have a bigger impact on your students than their parents?
Some of them, yes. Some no.
Do you? Do you think that?
I do. I do. Some of my students, I do. Like, I will admit, I've had parents come to me, and this one that I think of all the time. And him and his mom had like the rockiest relationship. But she, she came to me one day and she goes, I don't know what you did to my son, but he listens to you. She goes, he listens to you more than he listens to me. And when she was like, I just don't know. She was like, any other teacher he ever had, I would always get a phone call and this and that. And you don't call me. I'm like, what for? This is my classroom and I got to deal with him at the end of the day. So I have to deal with him on my terms. Running to you is not going to solve the problem in my classroom. So I deal with him accordingly. And he knows that I'm consistent and I'm fair, because I don't just handle him. I handle anybody who's going against my expectations and the rules that I have set forth. And that's just that.
She said,
I'm listening to y'all speak, and it makes me wonder, when you know that these kids are going back home to whatever negative situation that they're going home to, and the 8, 10, 15 hours a day that they spend at home, and y'all only get them for 6 hours a day.
I see mine.
Do you feel like you're reprogramming every single day when you see these kids?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I tell my kids every day before they leave, Miss Baker love you, because that's what they know me by. So I'm like, Miss Baker love you, and I'll see you in the morning. Don't do anything crazy, because I don't want to see you on the news, and I don't want nobody calling me for bail money.
and in all honesty,
she's crazy. And I'm like, what? I'm telling the truth. Like, I hope to see you tomorrow and try and enjoy your evening, and it's gonna be okay.
She said 2 very important things. One was she was consistency, and the other I can't recall. If you develop a structure for a kid, and that kid know what's expected of them, that kid will immediately adhere to it. And that's what a lot of these younger kids don't have, is they don't have that consistent structure. They'll go home one day and it's this set of rules one day. They'll go back home one day and it's another set of rules. And the kid is on a yo-yo. So they don't know if they should do this today because they didn't want it done like this. And they don't know if they should do it like this because it was wanted like this. So they don't know if they're coming or if they're going. And this is one of the things my boy said, and I took it and ran with it. He said that a kid's life consists of three spheres: home, community, and a school. If either one of those spheres are failing that kid is bound to fail. So what she's saying, what I won't call it Toya. What a Scorpion is saying is this: those kids come to sorry, Scorpion. And I knew I was gonna botch it eventually. What she is saying, when those kids come there, they know what's expected of them. They can perform. Case in point, if you went to if every day you needed a different key to get in your house, you probably wouldn't want to go to that house. Structure is the key, and I mean that in more ways than one. It's the physical key and it's the mental key. If I let's raise this to an adult level. If you went to your job every day and you had to do something different, you'd be like, yo, what is with this job? Every day I come in, it's something new. This is insane. I need to go someplace where there's more consistency. So this is what these kids are.
And rules apply to kids.
Yes.
Even more so, I would think, because they're kids. Yeah.
Right. So
I'm surprised you haven't tried to jump back in again.
I got to get my finances on track. That's why I said, no more than 2 terms. 2 terms would have been 9 to 15 years. I said after that, I got to focus on me. I have to get done in my life what I need to get done to keep doing what I want to do.
Truly, I'm surprised you're still in Niagara Falls. I don't know why you haven't left it.
Carnell keeps trying to get me to come down to Florida. He says, with your personality and the way you work and the experience, he said you fit right in with management. I said, yeah. I said, but this is only one thing. I said, I can't deal with the hurricanes. And he's been down there 5 years, has been through 3. I said, nah, you know what? I'll shovel out. But my needs are being met here, so I don't necessarily struggle for anything. I love being able to go down to the falls. That's something that I think most people don't understand until they actually move away. I go out in my backyard, even when I'm walking in the wintertime, I hear that cascading of the water over the cataracts, and it always lets me know that I'm home. Yeah, I walk into my backyard, I see my cat sitting in the window, I'm like, I'm home, everything's good. Eventually, I will move around for business, but Niagara Falls is always going to be my home because I'm always going to have some type of residence here. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to travel throughout the world. And this is what the one thing I was, try. Every time I get these kids, I'm like, look, you're here, but you're not always going to be here. There are so many people in the city who have never been to Niagara Falls, Ontario, to turn around and look back at their home city and say, that's where I'm from, but that's not who I am. But what I mean by that is this. A lot of people think that people from Niagara Falls are know nothing, do nothing, go nowhere people. So the moment I speak and I tell them I'm from Niagara Falls, they say, what? Why are you here? I used to get that all the time at the casino when I was engaged in conversation and I was doing security. They said, why don't you leave? You're wasting your talent. I said, no, I'm where I'm supposed to be. If I was supposed to be somewhere, the powers that be would take me there. And I'm a firm believer in certain things aligning. And it has nothing, for me, it has nothing to do with religion. If I'm supposed to be doing something else, there's going to be a series of events that compel me to do something else. Just like when my boy put the thought in my head about running for city council. Politics is the farthest thing from my mind. But it happened to work out that way. And here I am, still trying to get the mentoring program off the ground. You're going to be where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to do. I'm a firm proponent in that. So, I mean, just imagine if I'd been somewhere else. There's a good chance that David and I would have never met to have this type of platform. So what I want people to understand is just because you're somewhere that somebody else might not think is ideal doesn't mean it's not ideal for you. The money that I earn, I can live a comfortable life. I can afford a very nice home in a nice neighborhood. Put this home in another major city, there's no way in the world I can afford this home making the money that I do. So I'm picking and choosing my battles. Niagara Falls, for all its downfalls and everything else, I make it work. It's like Ray said, what happens when a monkey gets too heavy? Hey, I get an organ grinder, but I put in the work, baby. That's who I am. That's who my family is. We've always been grinders. We always work. We don't let adverse situations stop us. We see an adverse situation as an opportunity to improve. And I think that's what we as a country now we need to look at now. Like I said prior, everything is on the table. What are we going to do to move us forward? Because good, bad, or indifferent, we are in this together. If this country sinks, where are we going? Where are 300 million people going that we can live the life that we are living here? There's no other country that's opened its doors to U.S. citizens and saying, come here, we'll take you. And if they are, they're only opening the doors to the best and the brightest. The rest they don't care about. Where else can a single parent with 3 kids go and live or survive? You got to think
$1 billion
about
question. Where are we going from here?
Well, that's the ultimate question. Where are you as the individual? It's like Mos Def said when they said hip hop is dead. They said hip hop ain't dead. This country will go as the individual citizen go. So if we want to get along, then we're gonna have to have conversations, open and candid dialogue, deal with facts, and I know how the feelings are gonna come to the surface. They inevitably do, and that's okay. We have to allow for those feelings to come to the surface, but not to derail the conversation. Because far too often we get bogged down in the emotions and the feelings of a conversation to where we can't deal with what needs to be dealt with. Okay, and I'll bring this down to an individual level. If you're living with somebody, and you got 2 kids, 3 kids, one is a toddler, needs to be fed and changed, the other 2 need to be helped with the schoolwork, and somebody needs to make dinner. What are we going to do to address these immediate needs? No, we too worried about us fighting the fuss that we can't even take care of the kids. So we need to come up with a plan so we can get the kid in the crib, so we can get the kids education and lessons up to par, and then we need to get the food. We'll deal with our stuff later because we're adults. These kids didn't ask to be brought here. We brought them in this world. So we owe them at least that. And we have too many people that are selfish and self-centered to the point where the people that suffer are the people who didn't ask to be brought here.
Well, that could be a whole nother show.
Yeah.
That
we got
Definitely a whole nother show
right there. And that would be a really good topic, selfish parents, and put it on both males and females, because that could be a whole nother topic instead of it just being women or just being men, because I think we hold equal blame for that one. So
well, Rebecca, all you got to do is drop that
Kids
point.
are not ornament or decoration.
be quiet. You be quiet.
Now you mad at me.
I'm never mad.
I know. But no, like seriously, as you can see, these conversations can go on and on. We're almost reaching a 4-hour point.
Yeah, I gotta go to bed. I really do.
And we all probably have somewhere to go or something to do. But that's just the power of it. If you have more,
I have nothing to do, nowhere to go. My bottle of wine is empty. I'm waiting for her to bring me some food.
Oh, he done ate all of his. Do you saw him licking the plate, right?
I'm on my last glass of wine.
I don't. My bike doesn't have snow tires. Otherwise, I would bring you the chicken Alfredo I ordered.
All right, well, I'm gonna send you an Uber. I'm gonna send you an Uber, Herb.
At the camera, none of that shit. That was just like, all right.
Oh, y'all didn't know? I felt Sharon in kindergarten.
Me too.
But we gonna get ready to close it out. And we are like, these are some different times right now, even for myself. Like, all right, I got work in the morning, but I'm gonna be in the same spot, whatever, virtually. But having a meeting today, we also know that they're probably gonna start implementing that year-round school in America. That's coming soon. This coming
They should have
soon.
been implementing year-round school, but what do I know?
After this pandemic, these kids is probably gonna be in school year round after this. They probably not gonna like it. Parents probably be like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's good." But these
They
kids,
ain't
they
got to deal
probably
with it for 2 months straight.
Well, no, the problem, one of the reasons why they haven't is because of the the schools located in northern climates. They're not geared for summer teaching because they're not completely equipped with AC. And what happens is the board of health and stuff in there and say these classrooms are too hot to have these students housed in the buildings with no AC. So that's part of the problem, is getting the buildings retrofitted, because that was one of the things that was discussed here when they talked about year-round schooling. They said, well, the northern cities are only equipped to have education during the winter months because they have heating. They just don't have the air conditioning now. Conversely, the farther south you go, those schools are equipped with AC. So
But it's too damn. It doesn't matter. It's too damn.
I was about to say
hot.
the AC don't
It's
matter
too
on certain
fucking hot
days.
to be trying to.
AC don't do nothing.
If you come to Texas in the summertime,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not joking. The streets are dead ass empty. They're dead.
You
People
can
don't
literally
come
fry an
outside
egg on the damn
until
concrete.
it's too fucking hot to go swimming. It's too damn hot here to do any damn. It's shit. It's January. My heat ain't even on yet. I didn't even put on a jacket to leave the house today.
It's
and it
too
was
damn
like
cold right now.
It's like 40
No, she's in
degrees,
Texas.
but coming from Niagara Falls, that ain't shit. That's springtime in Niagara Falls.
Exactly. It's like 30, 40 something here in New Orleans. Like, it's freezing. I'm like, I didn't move down here for the northern weather. What kind of shit is this?
Yeah. But shit, they couldn't handle all year round school here. They couldn't do it. I know they trying, but they couldn't do it.
Definitely gonna start talking about it. It's definitely gonna come up.
I know it's coming because these kids are falling behind.
Yeah.
All the kids that
There's
did
too much going on. They have to.
Yeah,
there's
failing.
Right now there's literally like not enough consistency to effectively get these kids to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Because of all that's going on. I mean, you're in school for a few months, and then the next few months you sitting at home. And no offense, but I hate virtual teaching. I feel like a damn bill collector some days because I'm calling and texting my students. I'm calling and texting parents. I'm trying to get somebody on the phone. Why is your child not in class? What is wrong with the computer? Like, I don't have to deal with this when I'm in the building with them.
It's hard. She don't like it neither, but I agree. I feel like that's coming too. But it was my pleasure being with y'all tonight. Love all y'all. It was good to see you again, Anita.
You too.
Over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've been having some things going on.
Yeah, where's your little redheaded baby at? Where he at?
I don't have a redheaded baby.
No, her. Where's your baby at? He was on your shoulder a little bit ago. He finally
that's the itty bitty big head one. The redhead, he was just down here a minute ago. He might have took himself upstairs.
So we don't wore everybody out. Herb done had a meal. You look like you ready for bed already over there. So
yep, I got my wine.
Yeah,
my empty bottle of wine
is over here looking at me like I'm crazy because I ain't had them outside yet. So fix it. They've been barking for like the last 20 minutes, but it was wonderful.
We reached an all-time high, whatever, with this one.
Oh yeah,
I bet we did. I'll see y'all next week.
Well, we're gonna come back. I'm gonna come back with something on Wednesday or Thursday.
You better. It better not be like, why are grown women so hateful? It better not be no shit like that. So.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
I bet you'll be something about like our mistresses winning, like.
Why are men so raggedy? Why do men cheat? Why do men act like an asshole?
Tell you what it's gonna be off. Nothing in common. Nothing in common. You're in a relationship and y'all got nothing in common. So that's just
that ain't a relationship. Y'all just wasting each other's time.
We already know the answer to that one.
But you think that, but it's not that simple.
It is that simple. You wasting each other's time. You can't. It's like oil and water. It's just not gonna work. Why are you wasting my time? Why am I wasting your time? We are never gonna mesh.
And please don't ever bring up religion ever again.
Me?
Don't do that.
You was gonna get cut,
man. Don't do that no more. I'm just saying because I love you.
You was gonna get cut.
She became completely unhinged on that one. Don't do that shit again.
Who that?
Don't do that. Scorpion.
I
When
mean,
you
okay.
when you said something, I don't know what it was you said, but I was like, "Ooh, in the name of Jesus, don't ever."
The look on her face was like my
Yeah,
friend
but
when this guy called the Bible a book of fables. I said, "Oh shit."
yeah, but
Still gonna be
Houston,
here.
we got a problem.
I'm still gonna be here, and I'm gonna
I know
stand
you
by it.
are. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, my
yeah.
guy, don't do that no more.
And I can't promise you that it's not gonna be brought up.
Try
Is that
real
Just
hard.
try. Just
Try
try.
real
Just try.
hard
Just
not to
try to
do
whether
that.
skate past that one
whether she
instead.
fall off or whatever the case is, somebody else will come back in. That's
Oh,
the
don't
story of
don't
life.
bring
Story of
up
life.
religion like that no more. Don't do that. Don't you say that. Anywho, I do got to go to bed. My alarm clock is gonna go off in about 4.5 hours.
All right, yeah,
So
good people. We're gonna be out. We're not gonna give our little regular testimonies, whatever. We're gonna sign out. We've been out on here for about almost 3 hours and 53 minutes and 39 seconds. We're gonna log
yeah,
I
out.
was
Great
just made it even
conversation.
felt.
And
my German
again,
Shepherd is having a fit, so
yeah,
I'm fixing to go let her out for
I
she.
see her. I see that German
Oh
Shepherd.
yeah, she been having a fit for like the last 20 minutes. All right, y'all. Peace
All
and
right.
love.
Peace
All right,
and
y'all.
love.
Y'all take
Peace,
All right, y'all
love.
be
Bye.
good, whatever.
Night.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, hush.